Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Everyone changes their job. Is the Deathsinger a rubbish job? Chapter 61. After entering the Shenlong Academy, Yi Shu discovered that the Shenlong Academy was so beautiful that it made people feel like they were in an ancient palace complex. Next to the huge and magnificent palace that can be seen from the outside, there are countless small palace complexes, as if they were guarding the huge palace like the stars surrounding the moon. Inside the academy, all kinds of precious flowers, plants and trees are everywhere. There are also small bridges and flowing water. In addition to several major palaces, there are elegantly shaped pavilions. Sometimes you can see some men and women wearing Shenlong Academy uniforms walking by. It is worthy of being the top academy in Longguo. As soon as I came in, I felt very comfortable. The students coming and going. The men are handsome and the women are beautiful. They are all wearing Shenlong uniforms. Uniforms specially made by the academy. These people are all students who joined Shenlong Academy in the past years. They are all the best talents in various provinces and cities. After going through layers of tests, they finally entered Shenlong Academy. They are all very proud. Mr. Li, you are back. Quote. Although the students passing by looked arrogant, they would stop and greet Li Chengli respectfully when they saw him. After all, in addition to the principal and several elders of Shenlong Academy, this person has the greatest authority. Li Chengli did not put on airs. When he heard the students' greetings, he nodded in response with a warm smile. As for the people behind Li Chengli Yi Shu, these chosen ones didn't even take a second look. Everyone here is the best person in each province and city. They are all top talents. Here, hidden professions are just tickets to enter Shenlong Academy. From their perspective, they naturally look down on Yi Shu, a newcomer. However, there are exceptions to everything. Mr. Li. Just then, not far away, a young man who looked a little lazy came over. This young man was very tall, about 1.9 meters tall, taller than Yi Shu. Shu is taller than him. This man is also quite handsome, with short hair, and looks very energetic. He saw Li Chengli from a distance, smiled and greeted him and walked over. Tang Hao. Li Chengli put his hands behind his back, looked at the young man and smiled. I heard that you were ranked 9th on the dragon list. Not bad. Tang Hao shook his head. I didn't make it past the 60th level, otherwise, I could rush to the top 5 in one go. You kid. Li Chengli pointed at Tang Hao and said with a smile, haste makes waste. You can rush to the 60th level of Heavenly Tower in just 2 years, which is already very good. Too much is as bad as too little. Tang Hao saw Yi Shu standing behind Li Chengli and said with a smile, Mr. Li, this is the junior brother you brought back from Yanjing City, right? Li Chengli nodded. Yes. Tang Hao smiled and stretched out his hand to Yi Shu, saying, Hi, junior brother, my name is Tang Hao, from Mobei Province, Angu City. I entered school 2 years earlier than you can call me senior. Quote. Yi Shu also stretched out his hand, shook hands with Tang Hao, smiled, and said, My name is Yi Shu, from Zhongnan Province, Yanjing City, senior Tang Hao, hello. Haha, hello. Tang Hao smiled and said, Junior Yi Shu is new here, if you have any questions in the future, you can ask me directly. Yi Shu nodded. Definitely. Tang Hao nodded, and then said to Li Chengli, Mr. Li, I won't keep you any longer. I should go to Lingyun Tower for the trial. Go. Mr. Li nodded. Tang Hao was the first person Yi Shu met when he entered Shenlong Academy. Yi Shu had a good impression of him. Tang Hao walked away, and Ji Chengli took Yi Shu to the new student registration office to report. On the way, Yi Shu curiously asked, Mr. Li, what is Lingyun Building? Li Chengli smiled and said, Lingyun Building is a place for students to try. There are many copies in it. You can freely choose the copy that suits you, and then practice your skill proficiency in it. There are also combat skills, etc. Although you can't gain experience points, it's a good place. In the future, if you want to practice combat skills and skill proficiency, you can also go. Yi Shu nodded. There are really many good places in Shenlong Academy. Soon, Yi Shu completed the new student registration. After filling in the information, Du Shu was also assigned to the dormitory. It seems that Li Chengli had already arranged it. Yi Shu completed the new student registration smoothly. After sending Yi Shu to the dormitory, Li Chengli held Yi Shu, said a few words and then left. This trip was a complete success for him. Looking at the dormitory with the house number 0085, Yi Shu nodded secretly. This place will be his place in the future. Taking out the key, Yi Shu opened the dormitory door and entered his dormitory. As an ordinary student, Yi Shu got a single dormitory. His dormitory is a standard 1-bedroom, 1 living room and 1 bathroom design. The spacious room has all kinds of furniture and appliances. Computers, TVs, refrigerators, washing machines and other appliances are the best on the market. After Yi Shu came in, he threw the key on the cabinet at the door, then entered the room, sat on the soft sofa, tried it, and felt quite comfortable. Although the whole room looks luxurious, this is just the treatment of ordinary students. Elite students even have their own independent villas. And the true students are even more amazing. It is said that each true student has his own palace. On the coffee table in front of the sofa, in addition to a set of tea sets, there is also a freshman manual. Yi Shu picked up the handbook and flipped through it. Through the handbook, Yi Shu learned that Shenlong Academy had a freshman trial. Every freshman who joined Shenlong Academy had to participate in the freshman trial. And the results of the freshman trial will determine the freshman ranking. The higher the ranking of the freshman, the more resources can be allocated. Shenlong Academy does not recruit many people every year, at most only about 30. However, it is very difficult to stand out from these more than 30 people. After all, these people are all carefully selected geniuses. After a long time, Yi Shu put down the freshman handbook in his hand. He also had a general understanding of the rules of Shenlong Academy. After that, Yi Shu called his grandfather and reported that he was safe. Then, he simply tidied up the room. It was still early, and next, Yi Shu planned to go around the school and get familiar with some colleges. Yi Shu tried to contact Lin Ran, but for some reason, no one answered. Oh, I almost forgot, I haven't completed the first job transfer yet. Sitting on the sofa, Yi Shu suddenly remembered that he hadn't completed the first job transfer yet. His level was already high enough. Originally, he should have completed the first job transfer after the martial arts exam was over. As a result, he was delayed by various things and even forgot about it. Well, I saw in the freshman handbook that Shenlong Academy has its own job transfer hall. So, I'll go to the job transfer hall of Shenlong Academy to complete the job transfer. The best thing about top academies is that they have their own job transfer halls. Yi Shu thought to himself. Originally, Yi Shu planned to go around the academy and get familiar with the environment. Now is the right time to complete the job transfer task. Leaving the dormitory, Yi Shu followed the instructions in the freshman handbook and found the job transfer hall. This is a not too large hall full of ancient atmosphere. Yi Shu entered all the way. At this moment, the job transfer hall was empty, not many people. It makes sense, there are not many students in Shenlong Academy. If the job transfer level is met, everyone would have transferred long ago, and the job transfer hall is probably the most deserted place in the entire academy. After all, there may not be one person who can meet the job transfer requirements in a month. But even so, Shenlong Academy has set up a job transfer hall 24 hours a day. It can be said to be rich. As we all know, the level required for each job transfer is different for each job transfer. Level 10 first transfer, Level 20 second transfer, Level 50 third transfer, Level 80 fourth turn, Level 100 fifth turn. The first and second turn basically correct the defects of the profession, awaken new skills, and enhance the characteristics of the profession. There is nothing surprising. When it comes to the third turn, all professions must take it seriously. When it comes to the third turn, it depends on awakening personal talents, talents that belong to you. The fourth turn is even more amazing. After completing the fourth turn, you can open your own field. In your own field, you are almost invincible. As for the fifth turn, it is said that it is to obtain the power of the law. However, that distance Yi Shu is still far away. It is not something he should consider now. As Yi Shu entered the job transfer hall, he explained his purpose to the teacher on duty in the job transfer hall. With his student ID, the teacher of the job transfer hall took him to the first job transfer. The first job transfer is the simplest, with almost no consumption, so it is completely free. And the first job transfer is actually not complicated, it can even be said to be very simple. The teacher in charge of the job transfer took Yishu to one of the rooms in the job transfer hall. In this room, there is a high platform with a round altar on it. Under the guidance of the teacher, after Yishu sat on it, as the altar was activated, a ray of light rose from the entire altar and wrapped Yishu with the reflection of the rays of light. Soon, Yishu completed the first job transfer. After the first job transfer, his overall attributes also changed, and the ability distribution was more suitable for him. In addition, his growth attribute was also improved. This is also his professional characteristic. The most important thing is that after the first job transfer, he awakened another skill. Yes, after the first job transfer, he awakened another skill. But Yishu was not panicked at all. After all, he could gain skills when he leveled up. This time, the skill he got was Darkness Absorption IV1. You can gain experience points by absorbing dead energy. The amount you gain depends on your skill level. Quote. After leaving the job transfer hall, Yishu fell silent again when he looked at his skill. This skill was so unclear again. The last time, Death Absorption was the same. There was no detailed explanation. Absorbing death energy. Yishu was a little confused. What is death energy? Forget it, since I don't understand, I won't think about it for now. Anyway, I'll know when I can use it. The current state of this skill is unusable, which means that there is no death energy around for him to absorb. As soon as Yishu walked out of the job transfer hall, a man appeared and stopped him. This man was very tall. Although he was a boy, he had long hair and a very white complexion. He looked like a mixed race. He stood in the middle of the road, blocking Yishu's way. What's the matter? Yishu looked at him, and his intuition told him that this man had bad intentions. You are Yishu from Yanjing City. This man looked at Yishu and said lightly with a bit of disdain in his tone. So what? Yishu frowned. This person seemed to have something against him, but Yishu was sure that he didn't know this person. Let me introduce myself. My name is Zhou Jin. Like you, I'm from Jiangnan Province, Suzhou and Hangzhou City. Zhou Jin smiled faintly and said. Oh, Yishu looked at him. Senior Zhou, what do you want to talk to me about? He glanced at Yishu. Since you can become a special student of Shenlong Academy, it means that your talent is not bad. How about this? I'll give you a chance. Follow me in the future. Zhou Jin looked at Yishu. Yishu said, oh, lightly, and said, anything else? If not, don't block the way. You are fine, but I am busy. Now, Yishu can be sure that this person is here to cause trouble. Although he doesn't know why this person is causing trouble, since the other party has bad intentions, Yishu will naturally not give him a good face. So, you choose to reject me. Zhou Jin narrowed his eyes and said, rejecting me is not a wise choice. Well, congratulations. Yishu looked at him. The answer is correct, but there is no reward. After that, Yishu went straight forward and brushed his shoulder. Looking at Yi in the distance Shu, Zhou Jin smiled disdainfully. Haha, you are really arrogant and proud. Since I gave you a chance, if you don't cherish it, don't blame me. At this moment, his communicator rang. He picked it up and saw that the caller ID on the communicator was Zhang Muhao. Smiling, he raised his hand to connect, turned and walked to the other side. Well, I saw it, it's not good. Don't worry, your cousin will avenge you, but don't forget what you promised me. Haha, although I can't do anything to him in the academy, in a few days, after the enrollment of our academy is completed, there will be a freshman competition. At that time, someone will naturally teach him a lesson. Of course, I will not let him pass in the future. Okay, got it. After hanging up the communicator, Zhou Jin dialed another number. With a ring tone, the call was connected. Qin Chuan, have you arrived? Okay, I will pick you up later. Congratulations on becoming a special student. Come to my villa in the evening. I have ordered a big meal and I will welcome you. Haha, we are still friends. Well, okay, of course. Unconsciously, a week has passed quietly. This week, Yishu has not been idle. Not only did he practice combat skills in the copy of Lingyun building in the school, he also went to a low-level secret realm to train. It was a secret realm open to all students, and the monsters in it were not high level. There, Yi Shu also figured out his new skills and abilities. A week has passed. For Shenlong Academy, Yi Shu also had a general understanding. During this week, the Shenlong Academy freshman recruitment exam is over. This year, Shenlong Academy has recruited a total of 53 students. Although not many, it is already more than in previous years. With the end of Shenlong Academy enrollment, there is no cumbersome welcome party. After all the freshmen are settled, this year's freshman ranking battle is about to begin. This ranking determines the allocation of resources. The top 3 can directly enter the elite class. Therefore, all freshmen attach great importance to this freshman competition. With the arrival of the freshman competition, all freshmen gathered in the gymnasium. These are all geniuses from various provinces and cities. No matter whether they are male or female, they look arrogant and look like no one will give in to anyone. They are all top students from major universities. It is inevitable that they are arrogant. Yi Shu also stood silently in the crowd. He also waited for this day for a long time. This gathering, Yi Shu found Lin Ran. He tried to find Lin Ran these days, but to no avail. It seems someone deliberately concealed her information. After not seeing her for a long time, she is still so beautiful and charming. She stood there quietly, like a blooming snow lotus. When Yi Shu looked at her, she also secretly glanced at Yi Shu, smiled gently, and was beautiful and unparalleled. Yi Shu also nodded to her gently. The distance between them was a little far, and Yi Shu did not go over to say hello. Wait for the competition to end, Yi Shu thought secretly. And the rules of this freshman ranking battle are also very simple. The ranking is determined by the competition. The freshman competition is also an annual event of Shenlong Academy. This battle also has another purpose, which is to temper these geniuses who are too arrogant. Let them know that there is always someone better than you. As all the freshmen arrived, in front of the gymnasium, a teacher who looked gentle and refined looked at everyone and said with a smile, "Dear students, I won't say much more. You are all geniuses from various provinces and cities. If we assign you a ranking, I'm sure you won't accept it. In that case, then, this ranking is up to you to decide." This freshman ranking battle adopts the free challenge rule. Each freshman has 100 basic credits. In our Shenlong Academy, I don't need to elaborate on the use of credits. I think everyone knows it very well. Yi Shu nodded secretly. After understanding it these days, he also knew the use of Shenlong Academy credits. The universal currency in Shenlong Academy is not money, but credits. Credits can be exchanged for the resources you want in the resource library of Shenlong Academy. Props, equipment, potions, and even skill books can be exchanged with credits. Credits can be obtained through academic performance, killing monsters in the battle zone, challenging the Sky Tower, and other channels. And everyone's credits are in their student ID. You can use your own credits to challenge your opponent in this challenge. 10 points per challenge. After both parties agree, each hand over 10 points to the referee teacher, and then go on stage to duel. The winner will get the loser's credits, until there are no more credits to fight again. There are a total of 10 arenas in the gymnasium. After deciding on the opponent, report to each arena, and then start fighting in turn. I declare that the freshman competition begins now. With the wave of the teacher's hand, this year's freshman competition has also kicked off. Many freshmen in the audience were stunned at first, and then they began to choose their opponents. In an instant, the gymnasium became as noisy as a vegetable market. And the senior students stood behind the fence on the second floor of the gymnasium, watching the freshmen below talking, looking like they were giving orders. However, they do have the qualifications. Ding! System task released. Win the first place in the freshman competition. Task reward. Reward a 5-star golden egg, a chance to refresh the golden egg, and a chance to smash all the golden eggs. At this moment, a voice came from Yi Shu's mind. The system actually released the task at this time, but it was also within Yi Shu's expectations. Every time at this time, the system would pop up to release the task. Yi Shu smiled slightly. Getting the first place is a bit difficult, these are all geniuses. This time, the rewards are unprecedentedly rich, 5-star golden eggs. The opportunity to refresh the golden egg, and smash all the golden eggs. These rewards alone are worth Yi Shu's best efforts to get this first place. Although Yi Shu said it was difficult, but from the smile on his face, he was quite confident. Well, who should I challenge? Yi Shu looked around. Classmate, how about we have a fight? Just when Yi Shu was still hesitating about who to challenge, a man stood up and said to Yi Shu. This was a boy who was not very tall and had dark skin. From his smiling face, he was very confident. Seeing that Yi Shu did not challenge anyone immediately, but stood still, he walked over. In his opinion, this was a sign of lack of confidence. Since he was not confident, he should be confident. Classmate, do you want to challenge? This man smiled and looked at Yi Shu and said. Okay, let's fight. Yi Shu looked at him and nodded. He was worried that he had no opponent, and now he was delivered to his door. This boy might not be simple, but no matter who he was, Yi Shu was not afraid. He had absolute confidence. Let's go, find an arena to report. Okay. After the two of them reported at the number 9 arena, they waited on the side. Because someone has already started fighting in the arena. Northwest Province, Chang'an City, Shen Guangyi, 13th level hidden professional violent warrior. A burly boy introduced himself and said proudly. Opposite him, there was a petite and exquisite girl, who looked cute and lovely. Faced with the introduction of the burly boy Shen Guangyi, she was not at all outdone, raised her little head, and said in a crisp voice. Longjiang Province, Hailong City, Sha Yu, 14th level hidden professional great elementalist. This girl's voice was very nice. A mage hidden profession and a Wangzhou warrior hidden profession, with a head. Yi Shu stood in the audience, looking at them, both hidden professions, and was very curious about their battle. Brother, who do you think will win? The dark-skinned teenager, Yi Shu's opponent, said with his arms folded. Yi Shu shook his head. I don't know. The teenager looked at the two people on the stage, touched his chin and said, Sha Yu, the second place in Black Dragon City, if she hadn't been proficient in her profession, she would have been the champion this time. Shen Guangyi, born in a martial arts family, awakened the natural combat profession of the violent warrior, and he is also the real champion of Chang'an City, specially recruited students who don't need to take a big exam. Oh, Yi Shu looked at him. Do you think Shen Guangyi will win? The teenager smiled and said, there is no dispute, the winner will be decided within 3 minutes, Shen Guangyi will win, Sha Yu, the control of this profession is still too immature. Quote. Yi Shu's heart trembled. This guy seemed to be not simple. In fact, he was more optimistic about Shen Guangyi. The final result was not too surprising. The two of them fought for less than 10 minutes, and Sha Yu was defeated. The combat experience and combat skills of the two were not at the same level at all. This Shen Guangyi's combat power is very strong. Sha Yu's profession is undoubtedly very strong, a great elementalist, who can control various elements, and her skills are very cool. But there is no way, her combat experience is too low, and her control over this profession is not enough. On the contrary, Shen Guangyi has already had a preliminary grasp of the profession of violent warrior. After being approached by Shen Guangyi, Sha Yu was defeated in one move. Warriors have an advantage over mages. Plus, this Shen Guangyi is also very strong in his profession, a violent warrior, with amazing explosive power, and he actually has 2 charge skills, which beat Zhen Yu without any chance to fight back. Sha Yu's profession is not strong in single combat. Little sister, thank you. Shen Guangyi looked at Sha Yu who fell to the ground and struggled to stand up, and smiled comfortably. HMPH. Sha Yu snorted coldly, turned around and left the ring without saying anything. The referee also gave Sha Yu's points to Shen Guangyi. After Shen Guangyi walked off the ring with high spirits. The next battle on the number 9 ring was Yi Shu's turn. After the referee's nomination, Yi Shu and the dark-skinned boy both walked onto the stage. After each of them submitted their credits. Ring number 9, the second match begins. After the referee teacher of the number 9 ring, a middle-aged man with a wooden face, gave an order. The dark-skinned boy stepped forward, smiled slightly, and said, Classmate, my name is Wu Shuibing, from Frontier Province, Suka City, 14th level hidden profession, Vajra Monk. You and I will fight, and it will stop when it's over. The dark-skinned boy Wu Shuibing was full of confidence in his words. Yi Shu just nodded lightly and said, Jiangnan Province, Yanjing City, Yi Shu. Level 14 Hidden Profession, Death Chanter. Oh, are you the awakener of the new hidden profession? Wu Shuibing was slightly surprised. It should be. Student Yi Shu, be careful. Wu Shuibing smiled faintly, then moved, and raised his hand and hit Yi Shu. Buzz. Just as Wu Shuibing made his move, a huge golden palm print rushed towards Yi Shu. So fast. Yi Shu was startled. This move was too fast, and it was too late to dodge. Shield, Yi Shu said in his heart, and activated the skill. Swish. In an instant, a circular shield rose up and wrapped around the feet. Boom. Almost at the moment when Yi Shu's shield appeared, a huge golden palm print also hit Yi Shu's shield. Boom. Crack. As the blow fell, Yi Shu's shield made a slight sound. So strong, Yi Shu said secretly. His shield was broken with one blow. The attack of this profession is very powerful. What a powerful attack, Yi Shu said secretly. This is the first time he encountered an attack that almost broke his defense with one blow. Sure enough, those who can come to Shenlong Academy are not ordinary people. Swish. On the other side, Wu Shuibing saw that Yi Shu blocked his attack, was slightly stunned, and then soared into the air. Subdue the demon. As he soared into the air, he slapped one palm after another from the sky. Boom, boom, boom. Several golden palm prints came towards Yi Shu. This time, Yi Shu was well prepared. Facing the overwhelming palm prints, Yi Shu was very calm, and thought, flash. Swish, his figure disappeared in an instant, and appeared on the other side of the ring, flashing directly out of Wu Shuibing's attack area. What? Wu Shuibing was startled, and suddenly turned back and looked at Yi Shu. This is teleportation, you should be a mage, right? Why can you master teleportation? Devil's hand. Yi Shu did not answer him, but raised his hand and struck out with a palm. Boom. The next moment, a huge black palm print condensed in the sky. As Yi Shu waved his hand, the huge black palm print with rolling black mist rolled towards Wu Shuibing. HMPH. Wu Shuibing was also very calm. Facing Yi Shu's attack, he snorted coldly, put his palms together, and shouted, indestructible. Dang. With a bell ringing, Wu Shuibing's whole body turned golden, and a faint golden light emanated from his body. Boom. The next moment, Yi Shu's devil's hand also hit him heavily, and the powerful attack raised a cloud of dust on the ring. Pa. As the dust dissipated, Wu Shuibing, who was covered in golden light, retreated again, and a trace of blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. At this moment, he looked at Yi Shu with a serious look. And Yi Shu was also surprised that this move was actually blocked by him. You know, Yi Shu's move Devil's Hand is an attack method that can kill level 10 monsters instantly. Although, Yi Shu does not expect this move to kill Wu Shuibing instantly, but at least it can hurt him. But now it seems that it has not been blocked. Wu Shuibing looked at Yi Shu and became serious, saying, I admit that I underestimated you before. I shouldn't have been lucky. I have to be serious. I wish I could. Yi Shu also looked at him, because he also had to be serious. The strength of this Wu Shuibing was worth his serious attention. Put down the butcher knife. Wu Shuibing raised his hand and raised one hand to make a crooked sound. Swish. The next moment, a golden halo fell, wrapping Yi Shu's whole body. This skill cannot be avoided. It seems to be locked. This is. When the golden halo fell, Yi Shu instantly felt a strong sense of weakness all over his body. This is a DBUFF skill. What a powerful skill. Yi Shu thought to himself, you know, he has the ability to resist negative buff, but even so, at this moment, he almost collapsed. If he didn't have the ability to resist DBUFF, he might be slaughtered. It's over. Wu Shuibing shouted, and then pressed down with one palm, Vajra subduing demon palm. Boom. Instantly, a huge golden palm print fell from the sky. It's over. Yi Shu smiled and said, although you can weaken me, you can't stop me from using skills. Night, come out. With Yi Shu's loud shout. Buzz. The next moment, in front of him, a magic circle opened. Crack. Then, a mighty skeleton knight riding a white bone warhorse rushed out of the magic circle in an instant. Dang. The skeleton knight came out and faced the golden palm print falling from the sky. With a head-on attack, the skeleton knight raised his bone spear, sweeping across to break up the huge palm print that was crushing. What is this? Wu Shuibing was shocked and looked at Yi Shu. Summon. Are you a summoner? Yi Shu waved his hand. Knight, go ahead and defeat him. Da da, da da. The skeleton knight received Yi Shu's order, rode on the white bone warhorse, pulled the reins, and rushed out in an instant, with a bone spear in his hand emitting a terrifying light, aiming at Wu Shuibing. Quote. Wu Shuibing gritted his teeth and waved his hand, and a spear appeared in his hand. Now, his skills are cooling down, so he can only go head-on. Fortunately, his profession is a hidden profession of knights, so he is not afraid even if he is approached. Bang! The bone spear broke through the air. Wu Shuibing raised his hand and swept it across, blocking the stab of the skeleton knight's bone spear. Swish! The next moment, the skeleton knight's bone spear flipped, and a move of force split Washan and slammed down. Bang! Wu Shuibing dodged this attack, and the bone spear hit the ground, and the hard floor was cracked. Ha! At this moment, a flash of light appeared, the golden halo on Shu's body disappeared, and the strong feeling of weakness also disappeared instantly. On the other side, the skeleton knight had already forced Wu Shuibing to the corner of the ring. Yi Shu was still quite confident in the skeleton knight's melee ability. This Wu Shuibing is quite capable. As a hidden profession of the knight department, his physique is also quite strong, and he has several very good melee skills. Even the skeleton knight can't take him down for a while. Dang, dang, zit, boom. On the ring, the battle between the spear and the long spear made a series of sounds. This Wu Shuibing actually fought back and forth with the skeleton knight in a short period of time. However, Yi Shu will not let this situation continue. Knight. With a low shout from Yi Shu, he activated the skill again and summoned the skeleton knight. Buzz. In front of Yi Shu, the magic circle opened instantly. Another skeleton knight rode a white bone warhorse and rushed out of the magic circle. The tall skeleton knight rushed out of the magic circle, holding a bone spear, quite domineering, in front of Yi Shu under Shu's will. The white bone warhorse neighed and charged forward, heading straight for Wu Shuibing. Wu Shuibing parried the attack of the skeleton knight and saw Yi Shu summon the skeleton knight again. His eyes widened. Can this kind of monster be summoned multiple times? One of them is going to kill me, and you're still coming. Dang. No one answered him, and what greeted him was the skeleton knight's sharp bone spear. Dang, dang, dang. Under the attack of the two skeleton knights, Wu Shuibing retreated again and again. He could still deal with one skeleton knight. It would be difficult to deal with two together, and he gradually became a little overwhelmed. Fit. One skeleton knight charged and repelled Wu Shuibing, and the other raised its bone spear and pierced Wu Shuibing's throat. I give up. Ha! Wu Shuibing was knocked to the ground by the skeleton knight's charge. His skill cooldown had not yet turned over, and he had no choice. In close combat, he was really no match for the skeleton knight. Stop. Just before the skeleton knight's bone spear pierced Wu Shuibing's throat, Yi Shu spoke. Swish. After receiving Yi Shu's order, the skeleton knight retracted the bone spear and stood proudly, while the bone horse was restlessly digging the ground, as if it was still not satisfied. Wu Shuibing swallowed his saliva, and the spear was just a little bit away from piercing his throat. What a powerful summon. At this moment, even the referee teacher with a dull expression couldn't help but look at Yi Shu a little more. After Wu Shuibing admitted defeat, the referee teacher stepped forward and waved his hand. Ring number 9, second battle, Yi Shu won, and got 10 credits. Ding! Yi Shu won once and got 10 points, and the credits increased from 100 basic points to 110. Not bad, Yi Shu said secretly. Afterwards, after Yi Shu released his skills, the two mighty skeleton knights slowly turned into black mist and disappeared. Student Wu Shuibing, thank you. Then, Yi Shu stepped forward, looked at Wu Shuibing sitting on the ground, and reached out too. Wu Shuibing smiled helplessly, stretched out his hand to hold. Yi Shu stood up with the help of his hand. This makes me lose my temper, Wu Shuibing said with a smile. Thank you. Yi Shu nodded to him. Ah, Wu Shuibing sighed and said, there is nothing to be thankful for. I am not as skilled as you. Your summon is too strong. Yi Shu did not refute this point, because he also thought so. Two students, the competition is over, please leave the ring. The referee teacher saw the two people dithering and said, okay, teacher, we will leave now. Wu Shuibing smiled at the referee teacher. Then, the two of them walked down the ring side by side. Wu Shuibing was an open-minded person. Although he lost, he did not show any anger. Instead, he dusted himself off and smiled at Yi Shu. Good fellow, Death Chanter, I thought you were a hidden profession of the mage system, but I didn't expect that you were a hidden profession of the summoner. Yi Shu also smiled. I didn't say that I was a mage. That's right. Wu Shuibing shrugged and looked at Yi Shu. Well, Death Chanter, undead summoner, you will be a big shot in the future. Do you need a knight? For the next freshman trial, how about we team up? Yi Shu nodded. Okay. Yi Shu had a good impression of Wu Shuibing. Moreover, his profession was not weak. Not only was he good at attack and defense, but he could also give his opponent a DBUFF. With such a strong teammate, Yi Shu had no reason to refuse. Until now, everyone should think that a summoner of the undead type. Yi Shu did not refute. After all, his 3 trump summons so far are all from the undead system, so it is not wrong to say that he is an undead summoner. Undead summoner, this is one of the strongest summoner professions known so far, it is not unfair to lose to you. The two stood on the ring, Wu Shuibing said in surprise, then he looked at Yi Shu and continued. But I am very curious, you are a summoner, so you should not have flash and shield skills. Is this your professional characteristic? Yi Shu shook his head. Sorry, this is a personal secret. Okay, Wu Shuibing nodded, showing his understanding, and did not ask any more questions, but talked to Yi Shu about other students. Yi Shu looked around, trying to find Lin Ran's trace. At the same time, standing behind the fence on the second floor, 2 senior students were also looking at Yi Shu. These are 2 girls. One of them is tall and has a devilishly hot body. Her big wavy golden curly hair shines brightly. Her slender legs are wearing a goose yellow ultra-short mini skirt, showing her perfect body. The girl has a pair of bright eyes, clear and bright as stars. I don't know what she thought of. She smiled faintly at Yi Shu. As she smiled, her big eyes curved like a crescent moon, as if the spirit also overflowed. Between her frown and smile, her noble look naturally revealed, making people have to marvel at her elegant and graceful light. What a girl full of spirit. The people present, whether they are senior students or freshmen, look at this girl from time to time. Undead summoner, she said, smiling slightly, and whispered in a gentle and pleasant voice, well, interesting. Why, Sister Luo likes him. Beside her, a petite girl smiled and said. This girl looks like a girl of 14 or 15 years old, with a fair face, a pair of bright eyes under curved eyebrows, a sweet face, a pair of big eyes that are dark and shiny, and a faint smile on the corners of her mouth. At this moment, she was lying on the railing, looking back at the tall girl with her big, lively eyes, and said, why not pull him into our Luotian team? Our Luotian team just happens to be short of a summoner. Summoners are rare, and such a strong undead summoner can't be snatched away by others. Don't worry, let's wait and see. Luo Qingxuang looked at the gym below and said softly, besides, the competition is not over yet. At the same time, in the corner of the gym, a teenager was staring at Yi who was chatting and laughing with Wu Shuibing. Shu, he leaned against the wall of the gymnasium, did not challenge others, and directly refused when someone challenged him. Summoner, please press, it is indeed correct. The young man thought to himself, and then showed a cruel smile. Other professions are fine, but I am not afraid of summoners. As a hidden profession, the profession that sealer fears the least may be summoned creatures. After all, sealer is a profession that specializes in sealing monsters. Summoned creatures, to put it bluntly, are not monsters. Since they are monsters, there is nothing to be afraid of. He looked up at a position on the second floor of the gymnasium. There stood a young man with long hair and a pale complexion. He nodded at the young man imperceptibly. After receiving the young man's signal, the young man stood up and walked directly towards Yi Shu. By the way, Yi Shu, next, do you plan to take the initiative to challenge others, or sit back and wait for others to challenge you? Under the number 9 ring, Yi Shu and Wu Shuibing watched together. Wu Shuibing stood beside Yi Shu and asked. At this moment, on the number 9 ring, the 2 students were also fighting fiercely. After listening to Wu Shuibing's words, Yi Shu pondered for a moment and said, don't worry, let's see first. It's okay to see. Wu Shuibing stood aside, clasped his arms and said, "In this way, we can also understand the opponent." Oh, Wu Shuibing suddenly smiled and said, "Yi Shu, I'm afraid it won't go as you wish. Someone is coming, and the target seems to be you." Me. Yi Shu turned around and found a young man who broke through the crowd and walked directly towards him. Yi Shu, right. The young man walked straight over, looked at Yi Shu and said directly, "Do you dare to fight me?" "Why not?" Yi Shu smiled slightly, staring at the boy without retreating. How could he not take the points that were delivered to his door? Moreover, the hostility in the boy's eyes did not escape Yi Shu's eyes. Although Yi Shu didn't know where he had offended the boy, he didn't mind stepping on those who were hostile to him. "Since you dared to fight, then report it," the boy said lightly. Okay, Yi Shu didn't give in at all. Then, Yi Shu and him signed up with the supervisor under the number 9 ring, and then they just had to wait for the competition. After completing the registration, the boy glanced at Yi Shu coldly, then leaned aside to rest, and ignored Yi Shu. Yi Shu. Beside Yi Shu, Wu Shuibing pulled Yi Shu's clothes and whispered, "Does this kid have a grudge against you?" Yi Shu shook his head. "I don't know him at all, what grudge? This should be the first time I've seen him." Wu Shuibing touched his chin and said, "That's strange, why do I feel that he is hostile to you?" "Who knows?" Quote. Yi Shu smiled, not caring at all. He was not afraid of opponents of the same level. Soon, the two people on the stage finished fighting. However, it was not Yi Shu's turn yet. There were also many people who signed up for the ring. After waiting for a long time, there were 3 consecutive matches on the 9th ring before it was Yi Shu's turn. 9 ring, the 7th match, Yi Shu vs. Qin Chuan, 2 students, come on stage. With the nomination of the supervisor teacher, finally, it was Yi Shu's turn to play. It's finally started. Over there, the boy named Qin Chuan stood up, looked at Yi Shu, showed a cruel smile, and directly. Wu Shuibing patted Yi Shu on the shoulder. "Come on, I'm rooting for you, bully that kid, I don't like him." Yi Shu nodded and smiled, "Thank you." Yi Shu went on stage directly. Jiangnan Province, Suhong City, Qin Chuan, Level 3 Hidden Class Sealer. Qin Chuan, a boy who is only about 1.6 meters tall, looks very immature. Although he is not tall, he is full of arrogance. He looks at Yi Shu and proudly introduces himself. Everyone can hear the disdain in his tone. Jiangnan Province, Yanjing City, Yi Shu. Level 14 Hidden Class, Death Chanter. Ring number 9, the 7th match, begins. After the two introduced themselves, the referee gave the order and the match began. Haha, Qin Chuan looked at Yi Shu and did not take the initiative to attack. Instead, he said, "Death Chanter. Is it amazing? I heard that you are very arrogant. You don't even give face to Senior Zhou Jin. I want to see why you are so arrogant. I thought you were so powerful." Yi Shu smiled faintly. "I was looking forward to it, but it turns out to be just a lackey." This time, Yi Shu finally knew why this person was hostile to him. It turned out to be Zhou Jin's man. "What did you say?" Qin Chuan's face turned cold. "Nothing." Yi Shu waved his hand. "People like you are not worthy of my attention. You are willing to be someone else's lackey and rely on others for your life. You are destined to be unsuccessful." Qin Chuan's face was gloomy. "Senior Zhou Jin and I are just old friends. Today, I will teach you a lesson on behalf of Senior." "Oh," Yi Shu nodded. "I will see how powerful the dog Zhou Jin raised is. Can it hurt? You are looking for death." Yi Shu angered Qin Chuan with just a few words. He suddenly jumped up and waved his hand. "Lock. Wa la la." With Qin Chuan's shout, blue chains rose from the ground and entangled Yi Shu. Flashing. Ha! His figure flashed, and Yi Shu disappeared instantly. Wa la la. The iron chains condensed by blue energy fell to the ground. Devil's hand. On the other side of the ring, Yi Shu raised his hand and struck out with a palm. Swish. A dark palm print condensed in the air, and then rolled towards Qin Chuan with billowing black smoke. HMPH, a trifling trick. Qin Chuan snorted coldly, raised 2 fingers, raised his hand and flicked, "Control." Boom. The next moment, black iron chains condensed around him and gathered into an iron chain wall directly in front of him. Boom. The huge palm print hit the iron chain wall, making a roar, but Qin Chuan was not hurt at all. This guy has some strength. Yi Shu raised his hand and waved. Knight. Buzz. The magic circle was in Yi. The front of Shu opened. Crack. 2 skeleton knights rushed out of the magic circle and rushed towards Qin Chuan. Hey. Qin Chuan smiled coldly. Can't you sit still? Just waiting for you to summon. Absolute sealing technique. Seal it for me. Qin Chuan stepped back, formed seals with both hands, and stomped his feet on the ground. Boom. 3.0. Instantly, the ground roared, and countless blue-purple chains rose up from the ground, instantly locking the 2 skeleton knights tightly. No matter how the 2 skeleton knights struggled, they couldn't get rid of the chains. Yi Shu's heart trembled. Although this kid was very arrogant, he still had some skills. He actually locked his 2 skeleton knights. A seal master. Qin Chuan smiled coldly and looked at Yi Shu, said, your monster is very strong, but under my absolute seal, they can't escape. If I'm not mistaken, your skill should have been upgraded to level 2, and you can summon 2 monsters of this kind. Now, your monster is sealed by my seal. I want to see what else you can do. After saying that, he raised his hand and waved, lock it for me. Walla. Chains appeared on the ground and rushed towards Yi Shu again, but the move he used first. Qin Chuan controlled the chains and crushed Yi Shu frantically. As long as he could lock Yi Shu, he could do whatever he wanted. Qin Chuan seemed to have seen the scene of locking Yi Shu. He looked at Yi Shu and said coldly, Summoner, without the summoned creature, is useless. Your proud summoned creature has been controlled by me. Let's see what else you can do. Kneel down. It is obvious that Qin Chuan not only wants to defeat Yi Shu, but also humiliate him in public. Aren't you a special recruit? Aren't you the top scorer? Today, I will make you, a special recruit, kneel in front of me. At this moment, standing on the 2nd floor of the gymnasium, Zhou Jin, with long hair, looked at Yi Shu who was dodging in a distress, and sneered, this is the end of being unkind. Since you don't want to give me face, you must be prepared to be dealt with by me. Ha ha ha, where can you escape? Qin Chuan laughed, and the energy chains continued to attack Yi Shu. Fortunately, Yi Shu's agility is high enough, his figure is very flexible, and with the help of flashing, Qin Chuan couldn't lock him for a while. Aren't you very crazy? Qin Chuan looked at Yi Shu. Don't run if you have the guts. Sure enough, without the summoned creature, all 24 people are gone. Looking at Qin Chuan's rampant look, Yi Shu smiled faintly. Swish. Yi Shu's figure flashed and disappeared on the spot. The next moment, he appeared on the other side of the ring. Who told you that I can only summon 2? Yi Shu retreated again and again. Then, he waved his hand and activated the skill, Knife Soldiers, come out. Buzz. At the moment Yi Shu waved his hand, the magic circle opened, and black mist rolled in the magic circle. Ka. Holding steel knives, the wolf's bone-cutting knives rushed out of the magic circle. A full 10 bone-cutting soldiers rushed out of the magic circle and Yi Shu was neatly arranged in front of him, each one was like a diamond, full of metallic color. Facing the crushing chains, Yi Shu waved his hand, and a bone knife turned around and rushed forward to block this move. Crack. After the chains locked the bone knife, they stopped. What? Qin Chuan's expression changed, and even Zhou Jin on the high platform had a gloomy face. This kid can summon more than one kind of undead monster. Although they knew that Yi Shu's ability was to summon, they didn't know how many kinds he could summon. This is the result of insufficient intelligence. Zhou Jin slapped the railing and whispered. It can be seen that he was a little angry. Sword soldiers, go, take him down. With a low shout from Yi Shu. Ka. The remaining 9 bone soldiers moved. They moved swiftly, very fast, and rushed towards Qin Chuan with steel knives in hand. Fit. At the same time, not far from the ring, the 2 locked skeleton knights both broke free from the chains. It seemed that the control time was up. Yi Shu secretly calculated that this control would only last about a minute. Roar. The skeleton knight seemed very angry when he was locked up. After he got out of the trap, he let out a terrifying roar. Hey, Yi Shu smiled and said, your seal doesn't seem to last long. Qin Chuan's face looked a little ugly. Knight, go. With an order from Yi Shu. Da. The 2 skeleton knights pulled the reins, and the white bone war horses neighed and rushed towards Qin Chuan in an instant. Qin Chuan's face changed drastically, and he retreated repeatedly. If these monsters got close to him, his fate could be imagined. His profession did not have much defensive ability. I give up. Looking at the fierce skeleton knight and the skeleton soldier, Qin Chuan finally couldn't help it and shouted. Although he was very unwilling, he had no choice. His profession was actually more inclined to control. Almost all of his skills were control. Awesome. Anyone with a discerning eye could see this. But the weakness of his profession was also obvious, which was the lack of output ability. He needed the cooperation of a truly powerful output profession to maximize the advantages of his profession. For example, just now, he controlled Yishu's skeleton knight. But he only controlled him and could not destroy the skeleton knight. Once the skeleton knight escaped, his control would be completely meaningless. Unless he could defeat Yishu, the real target, within the time of controlling the skeleton knight. Obviously, he did not have this ability. What's more, Yishu still has a melee form that is useless. As Qin Chuan admitted defeat, Yishu waved his hand and removed his skills. The skeleton sword soldier and the skeleton knight slowly turned into black mist and disappeared. Ring number 9, the winner is Yishu. The referee teacher announced that Yishu had won 10 points again, and his points reached 120. Qin Chuan's face was dark, and he turned and walked off the ring without saying a word. Congratulations. Yishu stepped off the ring, and Wu Shuibing smiled at him at the edge of the ring. Yishu smiled at him, and then looked at a beautiful girl not far away. It was Lin Ran. She was still so beautiful and moving. Seeing Yishu step off the ring, she walked over and smiled at Yishu slightly. Yishu looked at Lin Ran, scratched his head, and said, Lin Ran, long time no see, when I first came, I looked for you, but I couldn't find you. Lin Ran shook his head and said, I don't live in the college. Quote. You guys. Wu Shuibing looked at Yishu in astonishment, then looked at Lin Ran again, and finally gave a thumbs up. Brother Yishu, I admire you. I didn't expect that you could win such a beautiful goddess. Hey, people are so annoying, that's all. From now on, you are my brother, so I won't bother you anymore. Wu Shuibing winked at Yishu and turned away, as if he didn't want to be a light bulb for you. Yishu and Lin Ran stood at the side of the number 9 ring together. Thinking of what Lin Haofeng said to him before, Yishu sighed slightly in his heart, looked at Lin Ran and said, So, are you okay? Lin Ran nodded and said to Yishu smiled, I'm fine. There was an awkward atmosphere between the two of them. Yishu could clearly see a trace of haggardness on Lin Ran's face, but Yishu couldn't say anything. He was far from qualified to talk about helping Lin Ran. Facing those behemoths, he was nothing now. Yishu looked at Lin Ran. By the way, do you want to fight? Yishu smiled. How about we fight? Lin Ran shook his head and said, I won't fight. This time, I won't take action. Let the ranking take its course. Then, will you participate in the freshman trial? Yishu asked. Lin Ran shook his head slightly. Yishu sighed, not knowing what to say. Lin Ran, to put it bluntly, is just a place for the Zhang family to gild her reputation. They will definitely not let her show up in public, duel with others, etc. The Zhang family will definitely not allow such things. The best way is to be a canary honestly, get familiar with the college, gild her reputation, and later, when she marries into the Zhang family, she will have a superior academic qualification which will make the Zhang family more face. Yishu secretly clenched his fists. He must grow up as soon as possible, grow to the point where he can face those behemoths head on. Yishu is confident about this goal. All he lacks is time. Lin Ran talked to Yishu for a while and then left. Yishu did not stop her either. Yishu could see that she had reservations. Do you dare to fight me, classmate? Why not? Lin Ran had just left when someone else came to challenge Yishu. Yishu would not back down, as these were all points. No matter what, he would definitely take first place. If not for anything else, he would not give up just for the 5-star golden egg. A 3-star golden egg could produce a golden weapon, not to mention a 5-star golden egg. In order to win first place and get the 5-star golden egg, Yishu was willing to go all out, even if it meant sending out the Death Commander. Of course, as Yishu's trump card, if he could not send it out, Yishu would try not to send it out. Trumpet cards should be used in a certain way, with one competition after another. Time passed quickly, and 4 hours passed, and it was time for lunch. During these 4 hours, Yi Shu fought a total of 15 games, without a single defeat, all 15 wins. His total score also reached 250 points. He was far ahead on the points list. Among them, the most powerful person he met was a level 15 overlord warrior named Ji Changfeng. This person was very strong. No matter his combat experience or combat skills, they were impeccable. And this person's professional skills were very powerful, all of which were high burst skills. In the end, Yi Shu was forced to summon 4 skeleton knights and 10 bone blade soldiers to defeat him. Yi Shu's battle with him took the longest time, and it took almost 15 minutes to end the battle. This process was also quite thrilling, and countless students cheered. Even many senior students took a second look at Yi Shu, the newcomer. He actually defeated Li Changfeng. You know, Li Changfeng is the favorite to win the championship this year, and there are many people who are optimistic about him. Even when he just entered the college, he saw several very powerful college student organizations trying to win him over. With Yi like Yi Shu, this person was also specially recruited. The top scholar in Bashan City, Mobei Province, did not participate in the final exam of Shenlong Academy, but was directly admitted 3 days later than Yi Shu. In addition to him, there is a girl named Ji Yushi, who is also very strong. A girl from Northwest Province, Zhongchuan City. A level 15 assassin hidden profession Soul Reaper Assassin. A super assassin that combines control and burst. The battle with her really caused a lot of trouble for Yi Shu, and it almost forced Yi Shu to use the invincible girl. This freshman competition also allowed Yi Shu to see more powerful characters. Here, the top talents in the country are gathered, even he can't be careless. Except for these 2 people, the others are not difficult. Under Yi Shu's powerful skeleton knight and withered bone sword soldier, other challengers or challenged ones were quickly defeated. Among them, the easiest duel to win is Yi Shu versus a girl named Dongcheng Yu. A girl with a great figure. This girl gave Yi Shu also left a deep impression, not because of her figure. Instead, the level 13 hidden profession, Holy Light Harmonizer, Dongcheng Yu was frightened by Yi Shu's skeleton knight. This is also the biggest joke of this freshman competition. Yi Shu later heard from Wu Shuibing that this girl's profession can heal, fight, set and control, and it is actually a very powerful profession. She is also the target of many organizations in the college. But unfortunately, she is too timid. After being charged by the skeleton knight, she was directly frightened by the hideous appearance of the skeleton knight. Then, there was no more. Yi Shu won just like that. The morning battle is over. After lunch and a short rest, the competition continues. This competition will last all day. After the morning battle. In the afternoon competition, Yi Shu completely let go, and he began to take the initiative to challenge. Because, although he is temporarily in first place, the score gap with the second place is not big, and he may be overtaken at any time. So, Yi Shu no longer held back. Even at the end, after negotiating with the referee teacher, he took the initiative to defend the ring and challenged all the colleges. Facing the round-robin battle of everyone, he did not give in at all. Under the might of 5 skeleton knights and 20 bone sword soldiers, Yi Shu won all the way. All the freshmen saw this and gnashed their teeth. This person is too high profile. Even if he is very strong, he should not be so high profile. Isn't this making enemies everywhere? In fact, Yi Shu didn't want to be like this. He also wanted to develop in a low profile, but there was no way. The system didn't allow it. He had to take the first place. 5-star golden egg, no matter what he said, he couldn't let it go. No one could shake his determination. Must win. Don't know whether to live or die. On the second floor of the gymnasium, Zhou Jin looked at Yi Shu and whispered. Around him, several people gathered. This Yi Shu, you are indeed a bit too arrogant. Beside Zhou Jin, a short-haired young man wearing the uniform of Shenlong Academy said with a faint smile, his hands in his pockets. Aren't you afraid of becoming a public enemy if you are so ostentatious? On the other side of Zhou Jin, a boy with purple eyes also shook his head and said that this boy gave people a weird feeling, not like the appearance of a dragon countryman, but more like the appearance of a Westerner. Especially those eyes. different from the black eyes of others, this person's eyes are actually purple. It's a pity that we can't take action, otherwise, I will suppress him with one hand. The short-haired young man smiled calmly. The purple-eyed young man glanced at him and smiled faintly. Lao Ke, you have been in the academy for 2 years, how can you say such a thing? Otherwise, you good job, Nuo Wang, go to teacher Wu and try. The short-haired young man curled his lips and said nothing, looking at Yi Shu with a look of disdain. In his opinion, Yi Shu is like a monkey holding a knife and swaggering through the streets. I don't know that there are always people better than you. Relying on some skills, he swaggers through the streets. People like this usually don't live long. Well, there's nothing to see in this competition, let's go to a dungeon to practice. The purple-eyed young man turned around and said with a dull look. Okay. The short-haired young man shrugged and said. Zhou Jin narrowed his eyes, looked at Yi Shu, and said to himself, be arrogant, wait until the freshman trial, I'll deal with you. Zhou Jin, let's go. Here, Zhou Jin turned around and followed the 2 people out of the gymnasium. When the competition was about to end, his points were finally far ahead and he took the first place. When the last battle was over, in the gymnasium, the bell for the end of the competition finally rang. Yi Shu, who was still sitting on the stage, looked back at the big screen. Quote. The first place in the freshman competition was him, with a score of 670 points. Although Yi Shu won the first place. But, this does not mean that Yi Shu must be the strongest among the freshmen. This does not rule out that some freshmen have hidden their strength. After all, the freshman competition is just an appetizer. The next freshman trial is the real test for all freshmen, and it is the test that determines which class they are assigned to. After all, not everyone is like Yi Shu. Shu must take first place. Many novices hide their strength, wanting to win a place in the freshman trial. Shenlong Academy has 3 teaching halls. They are the True Transmission Hall, the Elite Hall, and the Ordinary Hall. The resources and teachings obtained by each teaching hall are different. The students in the True Transmission Hall are the most talented students, and they will get the best resources. They are also the objects of the Academy's full cultivation. Because they are the pillars of future humans. When powerful monsters wage war against humans, when human technology is no longer useful, they are the ones to rely on. The Elite Hall is slightly inferior, but it is also the object of the Academy's vigorous cultivation. As for the Ordinary Hall, the resources and training obtained may not be that great. Hey, 5-star golden eggs. Yi Shu also secretly breathed a sigh of relief. With the first place in hand, the system reward was also obtained. He was also enjoying it at the moment. If there were not so many people, he would have lost the game directly. He couldn't wait for the reward of the 5-star golden egg. Equipment, props, potions, skills, pet eggs. No matter what the reward is, the 5-star golden egg should be good. At this point, the freshman competition has officially ended. After the competition, the gentle teacher appeared again. Quiet. Now, all students, line up according to your competition results. The teacher walked onto the stage, looked at the freshmen, and spoke. Although his voice was not loud, the unquestionable authority in it made everyone feel a chill in their hearts. Although this teacher looked gentle, he was definitely a master. All students, look at me, I look at you. Everyone's ranking is on the big screen, so there is nothing to say, everyone can find their own position. Finally, everyone's eyes turned to Yi Shu. After all, Yi Shu is the first in this freshman competition. Seeing everyone looking at him, Yi Shu smiled lightly, without any fear, and walked directly to the first place. Although many people looked at Yi Shu with unfriendly eyes. But, since he dared to take the first place, he was not afraid of others' hostility. As Yi Shu walked to the first place, the second place in the competition was the blood-dominant warrior named Li Changfeng, who followed closely and stood behind Yi Shu. Li Changfeng was not tall, only a little over 1.7 meters, and his appearance was not outstanding, very ordinary. He was the kind of person who could not be found in the crowd. But, this person had a special temperament. He just stood there, like an ancient beast, giving people a dangerous aura, making people who approached him beat faster. Everyone, including Yi Shu, would not underestimate this plain-looking man. The Overlord Warrior has 2 strong individual combat capability. You should know that the Overlord Warrior profession has produced a martial emperor. It is a true martial emperor. He stood behind Yi Shu, saying nothing, with a serious expression, showing no emotion. Then, the second and third ranked students lined up one by one. After everyone lined up, the gentle teacher looked at everyone and continued. I have said before that the ranking of this freshman competition will determine your resource allocation. Now, I will tell you in detail. As the first place in the freshman competition, Yi Shu will receive 1,000 credits every month and 5 opportunities to freely challenge secret realms below sea level. As the first place in this competition, the student will also be awarded an additional silver item as an encouragement. When the teacher finished speaking, everyone looked at Yi Shu. 1,000 points can buy a lot of things in the academy. The Secret Realm Challenge is even more difficult. You know, the Secret Realm resources are limited. The Secret Realm is the best way to grow. There are not only various opportunities, but also a lot of experience points to gain. The most important thing is that compared to the wild, the Secret Realm is much safer, especially the Secret Realm planned by the Academy. There is generally no danger when entering the corresponding Secret Realm at the corresponding level. But, the Secret Realm is a limited resource after all. Once the challenge limit is reached, the Secret Realm will be scrapped. Even students of Shenlong Academy cannot fight in secret realms without limit. As for silver weapons, let alone, they are good things that directly improve strength. Although this freshman competition is just an appetizer, it can also be regarded as a freshman exchange conference. But such rewards are actually it's already very good. Some people secretly clench their fists, thinking that they had miscalculated and should have fought hard. As for the second place Li Changfeng, he will receive 800 credits every month, 3 opportunities to freely challenge secret realms below sea level, and a bronze weapon as a reward. The third place Yuan Chengfeng will receive 500 credits every month, CEBC, and 3 opportunities to freely challenge secret realms below sea level. 4 to 10 students will receive 300 credits every month and 2 opportunities to freely challenge secret realms below sea level. The rest will receive 200 credits every month and 1 opportunity to freely challenge secret realms. After listening to the teacher's words, all the students were silent. They didn't expect the gap to be so big. If I had known earlier, I would have fought with all my strength. It's time to start. They didn't think that this ranking would have such a big impact. At this time, everyone looked at Yi Shu's eyes were unkind and fiery. Yi Shu felt the fiery eyes of the crowd, as if he was on edge, and he was a little helpless. Ding! Congratulations to the host, the system task has been completed. Win the first place in the freshman competition. Task reward. Reward a 5-star golden egg, a chance to refresh the golden egg, and a chance to smash all the golden eggs. The reward has been issued, please check it out. It's finally here. Yi Shu was delighted. The system reward was the good thing he was looking forward to. He had worked so hard until now, isn't it for this? Now, even if he is hostile to all freshmen, Yi Shu feels it's worth it. 5-star golden egg, a chance to refresh the golden egg. By the way, I remember that refreshing the golden egg will increase the star level by 100%. Can I refresh this 5-star golden egg and make it 6 stars? Yi Shu suddenly thought of this problem. If this works, it will definitely make a lot of money. The 6-star golden egg, the reward is probably far greater than the 5-star golden egg, right? The more he thought about it, the more excited Yi Wei was. He almost couldn't help but give it a try. Even Yi Shu didn't hear the teacher's speech on the stage. Now, he just wanted to try to upgrade this golden egg. OJ, the host is whimsical. The system prompts. You can't do this. The star level of the golden egg directly rewarded by the system is fixed and cannot be refreshed. Even if the host refreshes it forcibly, the star level of the golden egg will not change, and the host will waste an opportunity to refresh the golden egg. So, please don't do this. What the hell? The dog system really doesn't work. Yi Shu secretly raised his middle finger to the system. There is actually such a rule. The star level of the golden egg directly rewarded is fixed. You can only refresh ordinary golden eggs. Ding! It is detected that the host has completed the task and has met the requirements. The system can be upgraded to version 2.0. Just as Yi Wenshu was indignant, the system sounded a prompt again. Upgrade. Yi Shu was shocked. Can my system be upgraded? Version 2.0, then my original system is version 1.0. What are the benefits after the upgrade? Yi Shu asked in his heart. This is the question he cares about most. Reply to the host. After the system upgrade, new functions will be opened. After the upgrade, the host can explore the specific functions by himself, the system replied. Then why didn't you tell me before? Yi Shu thought secretly. Reply to the host. Telling you before is useless. Telling you that you can't upgrade is just a waste of time. So, you are still thinking about me? Yi Shu was shocked. Yes, the system replied. Dog system. Yi Shu was speechless. However, the system can be upgraded, which is an absolute good thing. After the upgrade, there will be new functions. Smash the golden egg. What is 2.0? Yi Shu is looking forward to it. Okay, classmates, I have said what I should say. I hope you will go back and think about it carefully. The freshman competition is over now. Dismissed. With the announcement of this teacher, all the students left the gymnasium. Yi Shu was also a little impatient to go back. Next, there are still many things waiting for him to do in his system. In Yi Shu's dormitory, he had just finished a shower, and he sat on the soft sofa wrapped in a bath towel, enjoying the cool air conditioning. The little thunder beast, Pikachu, had been released from the pet space by Yi Shu a long time ago, lying on the coffee table, eating a big bowl of barbecue. This was what Yi Shu brought back from the cafeteria to prepare for dinner. Unexpectedly, the little guy liked it very much. Since the little guy liked it, Yi Shu didn't care about it. The little guy seemed to dislike staying in the pet space, and wanted to get out. So, as soon as he returned to the dormitory, Yi Shu released it. Now, Yi Shu has something to do earlier. Open the system. A 5-star golden egg appeared on the system's golden egg page. There is also a chance to smash the golden egg and a chance to refresh the golden egg. Hehe, a 5-star golden egg, I worked hard to get the first place. What good things can you give me this time? Yi Shu was almost drooling when he saw the 5-star golden egg on the system page. The 3-star golden egg gave him a golden weapon. What would the 5-star golden egg give? Could it be a divine weapon? Yi Shu couldn't help but imagine. Looking at this 5-star golden egg. Take a deep breath. Yi Shu smashed it directly. Crack. As the golden egg broke, a black book suddenly appeared inside. Book. Skill book. Yi Shu was a little confused. OJ. The system prompt sounded. Congratulations to the host. You smashed a 5-star golden egg and got the reward. SS level skill book Death Prologue. Death Prologue. Snap. As this skill book fell into his hand, Yi Shu immediately opened the skill book. He wanted to find out what this skill does. Death Prologue. Concentrate the power of purgatory and summon the dead souls in the 10-mile radius underground to fight for you. The level of the summoned souls must not be higher than your own, and you cannot summon Lord-level souls. Learning requirements. Dark Profession. Summon the souls in a 10-mile radius. Yi Shu was surprised. This ability is a bit amazing. There is no dead thing buried in that area. Although the skill has many limitations, it is very practical. Tens of thousands of souls may be summoned in a 10-mile radius. Tisk. If this can be blessed by the halo of the Death Leader, it will be even more sharp. At this moment, many pictures appeared in Yi Shu's mind. The professional requirement is a dark profession. And Yi Shu's profession, Death Chanter, happens to belong to the dark profession. There is nothing to hesitate, just learn. Swish. When Yi Shu finished learning, as the skill book disappeared, Yi Shu's skill column now has another skill. And it's an SS level skill. It just so happens that today, the student gave him a silver equipment. It was a pair of dark blue trousers, a bit like jeans, and the style was pretty good. Dark blue trousers, top grade silver. Strength, plus 20. Agility, plus 20. Spirit, plus 10. Required level, 5. Additional, rapid burst, no consumption, instantly increases agility by 20%, lasts for 10 minutes, cools down for 20 minutes. A pretty good piece of equipment. Well, if I do my best now, what attributes can I have? At this moment, holding this pair of pants, Yi Shu couldn't help but think. Try it. Then, Yi Shu put on all his equipment at once, including the shadow ring, jade staff, dark robe, and dark blue trousers. Buzz. When Yi Shu put on all his equipment, a strong force merged into his body, which was much stronger than when he was naked. Now look at your own attributes. Name: Yi Shu. Occupation: Death Chanter. Title: Martial Master. Level: 14. Strength: 386. Agility: 326. Spirit: 466. Skill: Death Ingestion IV2. No consumption, no cooldown, search for corpses, and find more useful items. Skill: Exploding Fireball IV2. Consume 3 mental power, condense a fireball, and attack your target. After the fireball lands, it will explode, causing powerful explosion damage. Skill: Bone Soldier IV2. Consume 3 mental power, summon up to 50 Bone Soldier to fight for you. Skill: Requiem IV1. Consume 20 mental power, lock all hostile targets within 3,000 meters around you, and cause a powerful magic attack. Skill: Skeleton Knight IV1. Consume 10 mental power, summon a Skeleton Knight to fight for you, and you can only summon up to 10 Skeleton Knights. Death Commander IV1. Consume 20 mental power, summon a Death Commander to fight for you. When the Death Commander is alive, all attributes of your other undead summons are increased by 35%. 10 Death Commanders can exist 10 times. Devil's Hand IV2. Consume 5 mental power, summon the Demon's Hand to attack the target area, causing huge magic damage. Flash IV2. Consume 2 mental power, instantly flash to any position within 30 meters of you. Defense Shield IV1. Consume 2 mental power, condense a shield to protect yourself. Death Prologue. Condensing the power of Purgatory, summon the dead souls in the underground within a radius of 10 miles to fight for you. The level of the summoned souls must not be higher than your own, and you cannot summon Lord-level souls. Melee Form Hell Walker. Skills. Skill: Purgatory IV2. No consumption, condense the power of Purgatory in your weapon, and send out a sword energy to attack your target. Unusable. Skill: Hell Combo IV2. No consumption, instantly burst out 3 combos at super fast speed, each combo causes 120% damage. Unusable. Skill: Prison Impact IV2. No cost, rush to the target at super fast speed, and launch a weak point slash on the target. Unusable. Prison Hellfire Chain IV2. Summon the Hellfire Chain to lock a target, imprison the target, and after a short delay, forcibly pull the target in front of you. Unavailable. Prison Blood Well IV2. When you attack a target, you will accumulate blood energy. When this energy reaches 100%, you can use this skill to heal your own injuries and gain a 40% blood-sucking effect until you leave the battlefield. Unavailable. Looking at his own attributes, Yi Shu nodded with satisfaction. His attributes are already very powerful. Especially with nearly 500 points of mental power. With such high mental power, he doesn't have to worry too much when using spells. Moreover, the higher the mental power, the higher the spell strength. Although his spell strength cannot affect summons, direct damage spells still rely on mental strength. Now, Yi Shu has a lot of direct damage skills. After seeing his strongest state, Yi Shu took off his pants and clothes. After all, in a comfortable house, he doesn't need to wear so much. Close his own attribute panel. Open the system panel. The system shows that it can be upgraded. Looking at the opportunity to refresh the golden egg, Yi Shu was not in a hurry to refresh. He upgraded the system first. System, upgrade. Finding the system upgrade page, Yi Shu directly chose to upgrade. System is being upgraded, please do not operate. System is being upgraded, please do not operate. System is being upgraded, please do not operate. The entire system page was refreshed with this sentence. Yi Shu gritted his teeth and said, "System, I am not a fool, can you stop refreshing the screen?" OJ. About 3 minutes later, system upgrade completed. Yi Shu, who was lying on the sofa, was refreshed when he heard this voice, and sat up and looked at the system page. Sure enough, the system got a brand new page, which looked much more comfortable than the previous sloppy page. Yi Shu hurriedly checked the upgraded system. Golden Egg System, version 2.0. System capability. The host can obtain different items by smashing golden eggs. Items include potions, props, equipment, blueprints, skills, pet eggs, cards, etc. System description. The host can complete the tasks issued by the system to get the opportunity to smash golden eggs. Currently available golden eggs. 5 1-star golden eggs. Golden eggs are refreshed every day, and the star level of golden eggs is randomly generated. You can also refresh golden eggs by completing tasks according to system prompts. When the golden eggs are refreshed on the same day, the star level will definitely be upgraded. Current number of upgraded golden eggs, 1. Current number of available egg smashing, 0. Current system tasks, none. Points mall function, open. Golden egg points, 10,710. Golden egg points description. The host gets 10 golden egg points for each 1-star golden egg smashed, 100 points for a 2-star golden egg smashed, and 500 points for a 3-star golden egg smashed. Get 1,000 points for a 4-star golden egg smashed, and 10,000 points for a 5-star golden egg smashed. System Mall. There is such a good function. Yi Shu was surprised. After the system was upgraded, in addition to the much better looking interface, there was also a system mall function. This was definitely a pleasant surprise for Yi Shu. Yi Shu hurriedly checked the system mall. He wanted to find out the capabilities of his system as soon as possible. Opening the system mall page, there are many categories. Pharmacy, treasure, equipment, skill book, professional transfer book. There are still transfer books for sale. Yi Shu's heart moved. The career transfer book is a good thing. Everyone has one chance to use the transfer book after natural awakening. If you are not satisfied with your career and want to get a better career, the only way out is the career transfer book. However, a person can only use the transfer book once in his life to change his career. It will be invalid if he uses it again. But, the only way to get the career transfer book is to explode from monsters. Moreover, the explosion rate is frighteningly low. There are only a few career transfer books in the world in a year. This also leads to the ridiculously high value of career transfer books. Countless rich people who awaken ordinary professions are unwilling to give up and seek a transfer book but cannot get it. This also leads to even the most ordinary combat career transfer book, which can be sold at a sky-high price. Some are rich second generations who awaken garbage professions. Could it be that my second way to make a fortune is to open the field? With great excitement, Yi Shu opened the career transfer book page. None. The two big words hit Yi Shu fiercely. Shu's head, and at the same time, his dream of selling the job transfer book to make a fortune was shattered. Yi Shu once again raised his middle finger to the system. Wasn't this playing a trick on him? Since the mall was opened, it didn't give him anything. Chapter 71. Then, Yi Shu raised his hand and closed the professional transfer book column. Potion. Yi Shu's heart moved. Would there be the dragon blood potion he had always wanted? With a nervous heart, Yi Shu opened the potion page. Recovery potion IV1. After taking it, it can recover from minor injuries in a short time. Requires 10 points of golden egg points for redemption. Recovery potion IV2. After taking it, it can recover from slightly more serious injuries in a short time. Requires 50 points of golden egg points for redemption. Strengthening potion IV1. After taking it, it can enhance physical fitness. Requires 10 points of golden egg points for redemption. Strengthening potion IV2. After taking it, it can greatly increase physical fitness. Requires 50 points of golden egg points for redemption. Refreshing potion IV1. After taking it, you can quickly recover 10 to 30 points of mental power within 10 seconds. 5 masters and 7. Requires 50 points of golden egg points to redeem. Refreshing potion IV2. After taking it, you can quickly recover 20 to 50 points of mental power within 10 seconds. Requires 100 points of golden egg points to redeem. Steel potion IV1. After taking it, you can enhance your own defense in a short period of time, be immune to 10% damage, and reduce 20% of negative effects. Requires 100 points of golden egg points to redeem. Unlocked. Unlocked. Yi Shu flipped through them and found that they were all low-level potions with little effect. As for the dragon blood potion he had been dreaming about, it was even less available. It seems that there are no high-level good things in this potion mall, and he can only wait to continue unlocking the mall. However, these low-level potions are very practical. Yi Shu exchanged some and put them in his portable storage space. Anyway, He has a lot of golden egg points now. After closing the potion page, Yishu opened the equipment page. There are quite a few equipment here, but they are all bronze. After selecting, Yishu did find a few things he could use. First, a pair of black shoes that looked like sneakers. Light boots bronze. Strength, +5. Agility, +10. Additional, lightness, increases the user's movement speed by 5%. Required level, 3. Exchange requires 500 golden egg points. There is also a silver necklace with a purple crystal diamond. Amethyst chain, bronze. Strength, +1. Agility, +5. Spirit, +10. Additional, mastery, reduces the user's casting time by 15%. Required level, 5. Exchange requires 500 golden egg points. Except for these two pieces of equipment, other bronze items are suitable. What swords, spears, swords, and halberds, Yishu doesn't need. 2. Although they can be exchanged and sold for money, Yishu doesn't need money now, he has plenty of money in his black gold card. It's better to keep these points, in case you don't have points to redeem good things in the future. In addition to a lot of bronze artifacts, Yishu actually found a silver artifact at the end. It was a sharp-shaped, snow-white long sword. Blood Shadow Mad Sword, low-grade silver artifact. Strength, +30. Agility, +5. Spirit, +5. Required level, 10. Additional, Bloodthirst, your attacks can absorb the target's life essence to heal your own injuries. Required level, 10. Required points, 5,000 gold egg points for redemption. This knife is the only silver weapon in Yishu's weapon store. To be honest, this knife is very good, its own attributes are very powerful, and the cost is very high. The most important thing is that this knife also has a blood-sucking effect, and attacks restore injuries. This is a very rare attribute, second only to the invincible attribute. The silver weapon can have this attribute, which can be said to be the best of the best. For warriors within level 20, if they can have such a knife, it can be said to be like a tiger with wings, and they are not afraid of training alone in the wild. Especially, for top-notch hidden professional warriors like Li Changfeng and Shen Guangyi, if they can have such a weapon, their combat effectiveness will be improved by several levels. Unfortunately, Yishu is a magic profession, and he can't use such top-notch equipment. Although he has a melee form, his melee form comes with a weapon. When Yi Wenshu opened that noble phantasm page, it was empty, nothing there. Close that noble phantasm page. Open the skill book page. There are actually quite a few skills that can be exchanged. Muddy Swamp, skill rating. D-level skill summons a swamp in the target area, causing a large amount of slowdown and a small amount of damage to all hostile targets in the swamp. Points required. 2,000 golden egg points to exchange. Ice Wall, skill rating. D-level skill summons an ice wall within a 10-meter range around you, which can be used to defend against attacks. Points required. 2,000 golden egg points to exchange. Ice Spear Piercing, skill rating. D-level skill condenses an ice spear, attacks your target, causes magic damage and freezes for 5 seconds. Points required. 2,000 golden egg points to exchange. All D-level skills, and the skill books are very expensive. Yishu flipped through them and finally decided not to exchange the skills for the time being. Although there are a few skills that are quite useful, but Yishu doesn't plan to redeem it for the time being. After browsing all the system mall pages, Yishu nodded. In general, after the system upgrade, this newly opened mall function is pretty good. The products in this system mall are still very low level, but the development prospects are very good. As long as they are slowly unlocked in the future, there is no need to worry about no high-level products appearing. Now Yishu has a stronger belief in rising. Then, Yishu looked at the system's main page and there was another chance to refresh the golden egg. Well, there is no chance to smash the golden egg now. If you refresh it, you will just leave it there and watch it. It's better not to refresh it first. What if a high-level golden egg is refreshed one day? If I refresh it, I can get a higher-level golden egg. Yishu said secretly, and couldn't help thinking, and then turned off the system. Looking at the sky outside the window, it was already very late. Yishu stood up and stretched himself. Before he knew it, it was already 10 o'clock in the evening. Unexpectedly, he spent several hours looking at the system. After eating and drinking, the Thunder Beast Pikachu lay on the sofa, curled up into a ball and fell asleep, with lightning flashing all over his body. Yishu smiled and did not put it away. This was his private territory and no one would come. Even if someone came, they would knock on the door first, so Yishu let the little guy stay outside. Early the next morning, Yishu had just gotten up when there was a knock at the door of his dormitory. Yishu, who had already washed up, picked up the Pikachu that was curled up on the sofa and sleeping. Yishu opened the door and saw the person coming, then smiled. "You were really early." Haha. The person who came was Wu Shuibing. He put one hand in his pocket, looked at Yishu and smiled. "The morning is the most important part of the day, and this is even more true for us buds. How can we waste such good time in bed?" "That makes sense." Yishu gave him a thumbs up, and then said, "Since you are so conscious, let's go to the training ground to practice." "What the hell?" Wu Shuibing looked at Yishu. "Let's go, let's have breakfast. The breakfast at Shenlong Academy is very rich. We can't miss it." Yishu was speechless. It turned out that he came so early just for this matter. For Wu Shuibing's arrival, Yishu was a little surprised. However, having said that, the breakfast at Shenlong Academy is indeed good. Not only is the nutrition balanced, but it is also delicious. Yishu has eaten a lot in the past few days since entering Shenlong Academy. This is so much better than the cafeteria of the 9th War God University. There is a cafeteria not far from their freshman dormitory area. Yishu and Wu Shuibing walked and chatted as they walked towards the cafeteria. There were not many people in the cafeteria at this time. There were not many new students, so there was no rush to eat. The two of them took a plate of food, found a seat and sat down, and started to enjoy breakfast. Jat, Wu Shuibing, who was sitting opposite Yishu, ate the food with big mouthfuls and said, "The next freshman trial will be conducted in the form of a team. In addition to the two of us, we also need other teammates. Do you have any friends or something?" Yishu pondered for a moment. Before, Yishu just agreed to Wu Shuibing casually, but he didn't expect him to take it seriously. But it's okay. Wu Shuibing is a person, Yishu didn't hate him, and he was quite capable, so teaming up with him was a good choice. The first person Yishu thought of was Lin Ran. However, Yishu knew that Lin Ran would probably not participate in this trial. "Where's your beautiful girlfriend?" Wu Shuibing asked at an inappropriate time. Yishu shook his head. "She may not come." Wu Shuibing looked at Yishu, a little surprised, then reached out and patted Yishu's shoulder, with an expression that said, "I understand." Obviously, he unilaterally believed that Yishu had not yet been caught. Yishu smiled, but did not explain anything. Do you want to form a team? Can I form a team with you?" Just when Yishu was chatting with Wu Shuibing, a crisp voice sounded at the dining table behind Yishu. Yishu looked back. "Hey, is it you?" Seeing this person, Shu was stunned. After Yishu turned around, what came into view was an ethereal and beautiful face. A pair of clear eyes seemed to be free of dust, just looking at Yishu with a bit of expectation and excitement. "Can you form a team with me?" She stood up and looked at Yishu. Yishu was very impressed by this girl. Dongcheng Yu. A very pretty girl. Yishu had seen many pretty girls. But this girl named Dongcheng Yu still gave him a stunning feeling. However, the most eye-catching thing about this girl is not her appearance, but her figure. She has a great figure, which is so perfect that even the senior students can't compare to her. If she awakens to an ordinary profession, she can definitely become a supermodel. After all, she has a great figure and is tall. Yishu remembered that her hidden profession is called Holy Light Harmonizer. According to Wu Shuibing, it is a very powerful profession. But Yishu didn't see it. Because, when they were competing in the freshman competition yesterday, she was scared to death by Yishu's skeleton knight. Yishu looked at her and smiled. "Are you not afraid of my skeleton knight?" Dong Chengyu blushed and said hesitantly, That was just an accident. I am very strong. If we were teammates, I would definitely not be afraid." As she said that, she raised her little arm. Looking at her white and slender little arm, it was really not convincing. Wu Shuibing stretched his neck and whispered in Yishu's ear, "Yishu, don't underestimate her. I told you that her profession is very strong. Promise her and team up with her. Yi Shu nodded secretly. He also wanted to see what this holy light harmonizer could do. Dongcheng Yu. Yi Shu just opened his mouth, but before he could speak, 10 excited voices rang out. Then, 3 people rushed into the cafeteria and walked directly to Yi Shu and his team. The one who spoke was a handsome boy. Beside him, there was a man and a woman. Dongcheng Yu classmate. The boy came over and looked directly at Dongcheng Yu, saying, "Finally found you. Last night, I was going to find you in person, but considering that going to the girls' dormitory to find you would have a bad impact on you, I didn't go, and I don't have your contact information." Dongcheng Yu looked at the boy, stunned for a moment, and then said, You are Wang Yanbo." The handsome boy Wang Yanbo smiled slightly and said, "That's right." As he said this, he looked at Dongcheng Yu, and he was actually a little shy. "Why are you looking for me?" Dongcheng Yu said with her big eyes blinking. Looking at Dongcheng Yu, Wang Yanbo swallowed unconsciously, and then said in a gentle tone, I want to team up with you." "Team up?" Dongcheng Yu was puzzled. "Yeah," Wang Yanbo said frankly. "The freshman trial is a team trial. I have found teammates. In my team, 1 battle, law." As he said, he pointed to a boy behind him and said, "His name is Cao Zihao, a rare profession of level 14, Bone Crusher." Cao Zihao, a very strong boy, nodded to Dongcheng Yu in a friendly manner. "Hello, classmate Dongcheng Yu." Quote, "Hello." Dongcheng Yu nodded politely. Wang Yanbo pointed to another girl and introduced. Her name is Huang Zhaolei, a rare class of level 15, Fire Mage Worker. In fact, not all new students of Shenlong Academy have hidden 260 classes, there are also many rare classes. Although these people have rare classes, they can be selected by Shenlong Academy and pass the selection, which proves that they are all top talents and should not be underestimated. Besides, there are only a few hidden classes awakened in the country every year. If everyone has to hide their classes, there is no need for the academy to open. Huang Zhaolei is a girl with a very unusual appearance. The wrong girl, with an average figure, has the potential to be a princess of peace, and has neat short hair. After Wang Yanbo introduced her, she nodded to Dong Chengyu. Dong Chengyu also nodded politely in return. Finally, after introducing his teammates, Wang Yanbo continued to say to Dong Chengyu, "And I am a hidden profession rock guardian belonging to the night. My defense and protection capabilities are very strong, and our team just happens to need an all-round professional player like you, so I invite you to join my team." At this point, even a fool can see that Wang Yanbo is probably interested in Dongcheng. Yi Shu shook his head. He didn't want to get involved in these things. Since they had better choices, Yi Shu stopped talking. Wu Shuibing also shrugged helplessly. It was obvious that Wang Yanbo's team was better. Sorry, Wang Yanbo, I can't accept your invitation." Dong Chengyu said under Wang Yanbo's expectant eyes. "Why?" Wang Yanbo's tone was a little excited. "There is already a team." Dong Chengyu walked to Yi Shu and said, "Look, this is my team." Wang Yanbo looked at Yi Shu and Wu Shuibing, frowned. "You joined them?" "Yes." Dongcheng Yu nodded repeatedly and said, "I have just applied to join their team, so, I'm sorry, Wang Yanbo, I can't join your team." "Ha, that's right." At this moment, Wu Shuibing saw what Dongcheng Yu meant, and he stood up and slapped the table, saying, "Dongcheng classmate, you have already teamed up with us, Wang classmate, you were late." Wang Yanbo glanced at Wu Shuibing and Yi Shu. He wanted to say something, but Cao Zihao beside him spoke first. He looked at Dongcheng Yu and said, "Since Dongcheng Yu classmate has already found a team, we won't bother you, we will go find someone else." Huang Zhaolei also nodded. "Yes, the freshman trial is imminent, let's find someone to team up with as soon as possible." After that, they nodded to Dongcheng Yu. "Sorry." Dongcheng Yu also nodded politely to them. Cao Zihao patted Wang Yanbo on the shoulder, then turned and left. Huang Zhaolei said, "Wang Yanbo, since Dongcheng Yu has formed a team, let's go find other people." After that, she turned and left. "Am I?" Wang Yanbo looked at Cao Zihao and Huang Zhaolei who were leaving, gritted his teeth, looked at Dongcheng Yu, and said, "Dongcheng classmate, don't you think about it again. You are really suitable for our team. With me, I can better protect you. Believe me." Dong Chengyu waved her hand without waiting for him to finish. How could she not see Wang Yanbo's intention? She really didn't like Wang Yanbo, and her first impression was very bad. IKK. Wu Shuibing curled his lips and said sarcastically, "They have already formed a team, but they are still pestering here. Haha, you are so shameless. Really thick. What did you say?" Wang Yanbo was angry. He pointed at Wu Shuibing. He was already very annoyed by Dong Chengyu's rejection, and Wu Shuibing's words broke his defense. Wu Shuibing glanced at him and said, "I'm talking about you. What's wrong? Didn't you see that Dongcheng classmate has joined our team? What do you mean by forcing us here? Don't you take us seriously? Quote. It's none of your business, and you are nothing. I warn you, don't mind your own business." Wang Yanbo looked at Wu Shuibing, and said fiercely, as a genius, he was very proud. Dongcheng classmate. He looked at Dong Chengyu and wanted to say something. Enough. At this moment, Yi Shu couldn't remain silent any longer. Even he couldn't stand this person. Yi Shu stood up, glanced at Wang Yanbo who was shorter than him, and said lightly, "Classmate, don't you feel cheap? This is Shenlong College, not a foot massage parlor, not a place for you to be jealous. You are a local hero, don't you feel ashamed?" "You." Wang Yanbo looked at Yi Shu, his face flushed, and he reacted. Yes, this is Shenlong College, not his original college, and he can't do whatever he wants like before. Not far away, his teammates, Cao Zihao and Huang Zhaolei looked at each other and shook their heads. It can be seen from their eyes that they are very disappointed with this bow. Cao Zihao looked at Wang Yanbo and said directly, "Wang Yanbo, I thought you were pretty good before, but I didn't expect that you are this kind of person. Sorry, I quit your team. I am not worthy of forming a team for you." After saying that, he left directly. Anyone with a discerning eye could see that what he meant was that Wang Yanbo was not worthy of being his teammate. Huang Zhaolei also shook her head lightly, "And I will quit too. Student Cao Zihao, let's go find new teammates." After saying that, she also followed Cao Zihao's steps and left. "You guys." Wang Yanbo's face turned green and red, and finally cursed, "What's so great about it? I am a hidden profession, and I don't even bother to associate with you, a rare and rubbish profession." After that, he looked at Wu Shuibing and Yi Shu fiercely and said, "Yi Shu, Wu Shuibing, let's wait and see." After that, he looked at Dong Chengyu again, and then turned around and left. He knew very well that staying any longer would only make him bored. Dong Chengyu was determined. More and more students came to the cafeteria to eat breakfast, and some people began to watch. He couldn't afford to lose this person. In the cafeteria, Qin Chuan, who saw all this, smiled faintly, stood up and chased in the direction Wang Yanbo left. "Sorry, I've caused you trouble." Dong Chengyu sat down on the chair next to Yi Shu's table and said a little embarrassedly. Wu Shuibing waved his hand and said, "Hey, Dongcheng classmate, don't be so polite. We are teammates now. It's everyone's responsibility to protect teammates. What's more, it's a big beauty like you. We two men must protect you well." Yi Shu also smiled and said, "Yes, since you have joined our team, you are teammates." "Thank you." Dong Chengyu smiled sweetly. These two people are not annoying. After breakfast, we walked together on the campus of Shenlong College. "Yi Shu, this freshman training can form a team of up to 4 people. We already have 3 people now, and we still need to find a teammate," Wu Shuibing said. Yi Shu smiled and said, "There is no need to look for teammates deliberately. In our team, you are a knight, I am a mage, and Dongcheng classmate." Speaking of this, Yi Shu hesitated for a moment. He really didn't know the ability of Dongcheng Yu. Dongcheng Yu smiled and said, "My profession, Holy Light Harmonizer, currently has a single target recovery skill, a group recovery skill, 2 long-range output skills, 2 skills to increase teammates, and 2 skills to weaken opponents. There is also a not very stable control skill, a purification skill, which can clear all negative effects on teammates and prevent this teammate from being affected by any negative effects in the next 3 minutes." After listening to Dongcheng Yu's introduction, Yi Shu took a breath of money. This profession seems to be quite powerful. As Wu Shuibing said, Dongcheng Yu is really an all-round player. There is output, recovery, control, and can also amplify teammates to weaken opponents, and even remove negative effects. No wonder Wang Yanbo is so determined to win. Perhaps, he is not necessarily all for selfish reasons. This girl has a lot of skills. How is it? Dongcheng Yu looked at Yi Shu with a smile and said, "It's okay, it." Yi Shu nodded sincerely and gave her a thumbs up. Awesome. Then, Yi Shu touched his chin, nodded and said, "In this way, our team will not have any major shortcomings. Very good. You are so powerful, there should be many people who invite you to join a team." "No, I was scared by you in the competition yesterday, and no one asked me to join a team." Ding, ding, ding. Just as Yi Shu and the other two were walking in the academy and talking and laughing, 3 bells suddenly rang in the depths of the academy. What is this? Hearing the bells, Yi Shu looked up and looked towards the depths of the academy. Work. Not good. Wu Shuibing changed his previous joking expression and looked towards the depths of the academy. His expression became serious and he said, "This is an alarm. The alarm means something has happened." Alarm. Dong Chengyu suddenly opened his eyes wide and said, "Could it be a beast tide?" Obviously, Dongcheng knew something. Osos. Osis. After the alarm, over the square, sirens rang. "This is the assembly signal," Yi Shu whispered. He had seen it in the freshman handbook of the academy. Something has really happened. Yi Shu looked at Wu Shuibing and Dong Chengyu and said, "Whether it is something or not, we will know when we go over there." Okay. Yes. The alarm bell rang throughout the academy. At this time, many students have already gathered towards the square. And Yi Shu and the other two also ran towards the square. When all the students came to the square, there were already quite a few people gathered here. Soon, Shu discovered a problem. All the students who gathered this time were freshmen, and there were no old 053 students. What is the academy doing? What's going on? I don't know. The alarm bell rang 3 times, and the academy's assembly siren sounded, indicating that something big happened, but why are there no old students? Isn't this the academy playing tricks? No, the alarm bell rang, it's not a joke. Don't jump to conclusions, there will always be a teacher to explain. That's right, classmates, when all the freshmen have gathered. At this time, a middle-aged man in black stood up on the high platform of the square and spoke. His voice was not, it was large, but full of majesty. In an instant, all the students fell silent. Everyone looked up at the middle-aged man in black on the high platform. "I have some bad news for you. Just received the news that a beast tide broke out outside Kyoto, and countless beasts are attacking Kyoto. It seems that the target of this beast tide is Kyoto." What? How could it be? A student was frightened and his face turned pale. Beast tide. Hasn't there been a beast tide for many years? A beast tide is a terrifying attack launched by monsters. A beast tide means death. Cece. Once a beast tide occurs, no matter what level of monsters, flying in the sky, running on the ground, or swimming in the water, they will all come out in full force and launch the most violent attack on the human base city. And the one who can cause a beast tide is at least a monster lord at the level of the beast king. Monsters of that level are no less intelligent than humans. With this kind of monster in the rear, plus countless fearless monsters' suicide attacks, there is a chance to destroy a base city. In the past, many human base cities were destroyed by one beast tide after another. Although, with the development of technology, the defense of human base cities is getting stronger and stronger, and they have a certain ability to fight back. But, facing the overwhelming beast tide, no one dares to guarantee it. By the way, where is the dean? A student seemed to have thought of something and said, "If the dean takes action, no matter what kind of beast tide it is, he can sweep it away, right?" Yes, someone's eyes lit up, said, "If the dean takes action, any monster will be taken down, right?" That's right, yeah, how could I forget this? All the students breathed a sigh of relief. Indeed, with Hong Tian in charge of Kyoto, Kyoto is absolutely safe. You know, the dean of their Shenlong Academy, Hong Tian, is a real martial emperor level strongman. A strong man of that level can destroy a mountain and a river with a raise of his hand. The reason why those monsters in the wild are so obedient is because there are strong men of this level among humans. Quiet, the middle-aged man in black said loudly. At this moment, everyone fell silent. The middle-aged man in black continued. "I regret to tell you that the dean is not in Kyoto. A month ago, a major incident occurred in the red zone number 19. The dean personally went to the red zone to investigate, but has not returned yet. We can't count on the dean. What? The dean is not here. Then, what should we do? Suddenly, many students panicked. Although they are all geniuses. But facing the endless beast tide and the danger of death, they are afraid. After all, they are just teenagers who have just awakened. Facing the beast tide and death, it would be a lie to say that they are not afraid. The middle-aged man in black looked at everyone and said seriously. Resisting the beast tide is the mission and responsibility of every human being. It is related to whether our human race can continue. No human can survive wherever the beast tide passes. We have no room for bargaining with monsters. We can only fight to the death. Fight to the last moment. This time the beast tide broke out suddenly, and all major colleges have been dispatched. All the top strongmen will go to the front line to kill monsters. The senior students received the communication and set off to the front line as soon as possible. And you, although you are still very weak, as a member of the human race, you also have to bear a responsibility. You haven't grown up yet. We know this very well, so this time, the task given to you by the college will not be too difficult. Quote. Outside Kyoto, you will resist the monsters in Tiandang Mountain in the green zone. This time, your freshman trial has changed from the original plan to resisting the beast tide in Tiandang Mountain. Tiandang Mountain basically has monsters within level 20, and this time there are several level 40 teachers accompanying us. You don't need to worry too much. The scale of this beast tide is not that large. Not only will the army be dispatched, but our major colleges will also send strong men to take action. Wait a minute, the college will give each of you a recorder, and you will get points for each monster you kill. The first person in the points this time will be rewarded with a golden weapon. The top 3 students in the points this time will have a place to enter the Dragon's Nest trial. Kyoto has a teleportation array connected to Tiandang Mountain. Wait a minute, you will go there through the teleportation array. What do you mean? Wu Shuibing turned around and glanced at Yi Shu standing behind him, and said silently. Yi Shu took a deep breath and said directly, there is nothing to say. When the nest is overturned, the eggs will not be intact. Everyone has the responsibility to resist the beast tide. If the monsters really invade Kyoto, none of us can escape. In this case, we might as well go out and kill them happily and do our part. Ah, Wu Shuibing smiled bitterly, shook his head, and said, this is not the college life I expected, but there is no other way, we can only fight. There is no point in fighting those monsters. That's right, Yi Shu nodded. What about you? Then, Yi Shu looked at Dong Chengyu. Dong Chengyu did not hesitate, clenched his fist, and said, I will go with you. I think Yi Shu is right. As long as we are human beings, we should do our part in the face of the beast tide, not to mention as combat professionals. Okay, then let's get ready to go. Swish, swish, swish. With flashes of dazzling light. In front of a vast mountain, there is a huge array platform. At this moment, on this array platform, with flashes of light, figures appear one after another. The group of people who appeared on the array platform are the freshmen who just came from Shenlong Academy. They are led by 4 level 40 teachers, responsible for resisting the beast tide in Tiandang Mountain. Roar, awoo, everyone just appeared on the array platform. In the distance, in a huge mountain range, there were heart-pounding beast roars. The ground trembled slightly. In the distance, powerful monsters appeared. Not just 1 or 2, not 40 or 50, but hundreds and thousands. These monsters, big and small, began to gradually walk out of the mountains and run out to the outside world. Roar. In the deep mountains, a huge roar came, shocking, and then everyone saw a mountain-like figure appear in the deep mountains. 12,121. A student was frightened and retreated repeatedly, shaking all over. And standing on the platform, Yi Shu, seeing this scene, not only did not retreat, but walked towards the front of the array platform. This array platform is very high. Yi Shu stood in front of the array platform and could see very far at a glance. Looking at the huge monster in the distant mountain, and the monsters that kept appearing and walking out of the deep mountain, Yi Shu's heart was actually very calm, without much fear. System task release. This task is a phased task. Task completion degree 1. Kill 500 ordinary monsters. Task reward. Get a chance to smash a golden egg. Task completion degree 2. Kill 1000 ordinary monsters. Task reward. Get a chance to refresh a golden egg. Task completion degree 3. Kill 5000 ordinary monsters. Task reward. 1 3-star golden egg, 1 chance to smash a golden egg. Task completion degree 4. Kill 10,000 ordinary monsters. Task reward. 1 4-star golden egg, 1 chance to smash a golden egg. Quote. Task completion 5. Kill 30,000 ordinary monsters. Task reward. 1 5-star golden egg, 3 golden egg smashing opportunities. Boss mission 1. Kill a boss level monster. Task reward. 1 golden egg refresh opportunity. Boss mission 2. Kill 3 boss level monsters. Task reward. 1 2-star golden egg, 3 golden egg smashing opportunities. Boss mission 3. Kill 5 boss level monsters. Task reward. 1 3-star golden egg, 2 golden egg refresh opportunities. Boss mission 4. Kill 10 boss level monsters. Task reward. 1 4-star golden egg, 1 golden egg refresh opportunity, 3 golden egg smashing opportunities. Boss mission 5. Kill 30 boss level monsters. Task reward. 2 5-star golden eggs, 3 golden egg refresh opportunities, 5 golden egg smashing opportunities. Final stage mission. Completely block the beast tide in Tiandang Mountain. Mission reward. A chance to refresh the system mall. At this moment, in Yishu's mind, there were system prompts. After reading all the mission contents, Yishu was shocked. This time, the system played a little too much. The system actually issued so many missions at one time. This is the first time in such a long time. System mall refresh. Others are fine, but Yishu is more looking forward to this. After all, there are a lot of good things in the mall. Yishu looked at the beast tide getting closer and closer in the distance, and he was a little excited. These are all his own missions. At this moment, his fighting spirit gradually rose. It's time to do a big fight, Yishu said in his heart. I won't go. At this moment, a voice sounded from the high platform. Yishu looked back and saw a young man. He was a little thin and not very tall. Facing the approaching beast tide, looking at the overwhelming monsters and the huge figure in the deep mountains, he couldn't help but tremble at this moment. He said, Why should I stop the beast tide? Aren't you asking us to die? I'm only 18 years old, I don't want to die. I want to go back, I'm from the Zhang family in Mobe, the son of Zhang Yihu, I don't want to die here, I don't want to study at Shenlong Academy anymore, I want to go back to Mobe. That's right, why do you want us to die? At this time, someone else stood up and said, What are you strong men doing? He pointed at the teacher and shouted, Why do we freshmen have to resist? Yishu shook his head. Facing such a ferocious monster, it is understandable to be afraid of death, but you shouldn't be so cowardly. And you shouldn't show it so openly. Yishu knew a truth a long time ago. People are different. Talent alone is useless. If you don't have the courage to move forward and the responsibility to take on the responsibility, you won't be able to go far on the road to becoming the strongest. Teacher, the monsters are about to attack. If no one goes, then I will go. If even we give up and retreat, then we are really unworthy of this Shenlong Academy. It's just a group of low-level monsters. Yishu walked up to a teacher and said calmly. Then, he stopped talking nonsense, turned around and walked towards the bottom of the platform. Student Yishu, let's all attack together. Faced with so many monsters, even these teachers were not calm. No need, in my opinion, they are just a group of experience, you, don't grab too much. Haha, Yishu laughed loudly, his pace was not slow at all. At this moment, the group of students looked at each other, and they all saw a trace of surprise in their eyes. Yishu, wait for me. At this moment, a figure rushed out of the platform and followed Yishu's steps. Yishu looked back at the person coming and smiled, Wu Shuibing. Aren't you afraid? Wu Shuibing shook his head. I'm scared to death. There are so many monsters. I said I'm not afraid. Do you believe it? Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Then why are you still following me? Someone has to go, right? Wu Shuibing smiled and faced it calmly, saying, instead of cursing here, it's better to fight openly. If the beast tide comes over, hiding here is useless. Oh, at this moment, Yishu really looked up to this person. Count me in. At this moment, a young man with a long sword on his back walked out of the crowd. Although this man looked ordinary, he had an aura that captured people's hearts. It's Li Chengfeng. Everyone was slightly surprised. And me. Dong Chengyu also walked out of the crowd and quickly chased after Yi Shu. After she caught up with Yi Shu, she looked at Yi Shu and Wu Shuibing. Don't forget, we are a small team, don't think of leaving me behind. Quote, Yi Shu is right, they are just a bunch of experience, what's the point of talking about them? On the high stage, a tall and beautiful girl walked out from the crowd. With a flash of light, a sharp dagger appeared in her hand. 0. Ji Yu Shi, don't be impulsive. A boy shouted, trying to stop her. The girl looked back at the boy who was still boasting in front of her yesterday but now had a pale face. She curled her lips in disdain, then turned around and walked directly to the stage. Ha ha ha, well said, who says women are inferior to men? The women of our dragon country are not inferior to men. Facing the beast tide, girls they all dare to come up, how can we men retreat? I'm going. A somewhat rebellious laugh sounded, and then a burly young man walked out of the crowd and followed. Shen Guangyi, someone in the crowd whispered. They were also impressed by this young man, a very fierce character. I'm not afraid either. After that, another sweet-looking, petite girl stood up and said timidly. It can be seen that she was a little afraid of these monsters, but she finally took a deep breath, stretched out her hand and patted her face. Towards the downwind Yi Shu followed the steps of the platform where they left. Yu. A girl tried to pull her, but she dodged. After that, the entire platform fell into silence. There were still many students left, but no one dared to go up directly. The rest stood there one by one, as if they were fixed. Not everyone had the determination to face the beast tide. Yi Shu, Wu Shuibing, Li Chengfeng, Dong Chengyu, Ji Yushi, Shen Guangyi, and Zhang Yuyu, a total of 7 people, took the initiative to fight. Several teachers looked at each other, nodded, and followed. They had to protect the safety of these students. These students were the real hope of the college. The remaining freshmen stood on the platform, looking at each other. A bunch of idiots. I don't want to die. I want to go back. Quote. I want to go back too. The next moment, someone was actually studying how to go back. Facing the overwhelming beast tide, they were really scared. This would kill them. In front of Tiandang Mountain, 7 figures walked down from the high platform, and then walked towards the beast tide step by step. The 4 teachers were divided into 2 teams, covering on both sides. Once a monster approached, they would decisively take action. Swish. Yi Shu raised his hand and took out his staff, Jade Staff. At this moment, all the colleges looking at Yi Shu were a little surprised, and even the 4 teachers found it incredible. A freshman who was less than level 20 actually had a staff. This is very rare. Looking at the approaching beast tide. Everyone, I'll show my ugliness first. After saying that, Yi Shu stepped forward step by step, and raised his staff with his hand. Explosive fireball. Ha! As Yi Shu's mind moved, the next moment, the staff began to condense fireballs. Fireball. Beside Yi Shu, Wu Shuibing was shocked and said, what's the use of this? Yi Shu, you should call your skeleton soldiers. I think they are more reliable. Of course, I don't mean to look down on the fireball technique. Hee. Yi Shu smiled and said nothing, because soon, they will see the power of this move. General fireballs are indeed useless in this situation. But his fireball technique is not an ordinary fireball technique. As Yi Shu raised his hand and waved, whoosh, the fireball flew out of the staff and then quickly fell into the herd. Boom. A moment later, under the surprised eyes of everyone, a roar sounded, and the huge explosion shocked people's hearts. This move directly created a vacuum zone of dozens of meters in the herd. The power of this move can be compared to a bomb. Since explosive fireball technique was upgraded to level 2, the power of this move has increased by several levels. In addition to Yi Shu's current strong mental power, this power is nothing. How? Yi Shu turned his head and smiled at Wu Shuibing. Wu Shuibing opened his mouth, turned his head, raised his thumb, and said to Yi Shu, awesome, the fireball can explode, this should be a professional feature of yours, right? Tisk tisk, is this the death chanter? Wu Shuibing was shocked. It's not over yet. Yi Shu raised his hand and condensed another fireball. Wow, Yi Shu, your explosive fireball spell doesn't have a cooldown. Dong Chengyu, who was not far from Yi Shu, opened her eyes wide. Yes, but not for long. As he said that, Yi Shu waved his staff, and another fireball flew out and fell into the herd. Boom! With the sound of the explosion, another area was cleared. Then, come again. Boom, boom, boom. As fireballs continued to fly out and fell into the monster group, the huge explosion power killed one monster after another. Yi Shu had practiced this move for a long time and was very handy in using it. The most powerful thing about this move is not the explosive power, but the cooldown. The cooldown time is frighteningly short, even shorter than the cooldown of ordinary fireballs. At this moment, everyone looked at Yi Shu with a strange look in their eyes. Boom, boom, boom. As the exploding fireballs fell, the monster's advancement was actually blocked. At this time, Yi Shu is simply a human cannon launcher. Fortunately, there is a huge canyon outside Tiandang Mountain. If the monsters want to rush out of Tiandang Mountain, they have to pass through this canyon. This canyon is not very wide, only 20 to 30 meters. Under Yi Shu's explosive fireballs one after another, a large area can be cleared each time, and these monsters really can't rush out for a while. As long as they can defend this canyon, they can stop the impact of the monsters. Roar! A powerful flying monster passed through the canyon, stared at Yi Shu, and swooped down at Yi Shu. Be careful. Someone spoke. The one who spoke was Li Changfeng. Looking at the flying monster coming from the air, Yi Shu was condensing the explosive fireball technique. And Li Changfeng took a step forward, and with a swish sound, he pulled out the long sword behind him, raised his hand and chopped it out. Swoosh! A sharp blade light shot up into the sky, instantly splitting the flying monster in half. Li Changfeng stood in front of Yi Shu and said, Yi Shu, you can release the explosion technique at ease, I will resist the attack of the flying monster on you. Li Changfeng's voice was not loud, but it was very reassuring. Okay. Yi Shu nodded and did not refuse. Now, he really needed to release the explosive fireball technique to block the impact of these low-level monsters. It was good to have someone to protect him and let him perform with peace of mind. They must first stop the first charge of these low-level monsters. If they can't even stop these monsters, how can they reach the beast tide? I'll come too. At this moment, Dong Chengyu also stood up. She raised her hand to gather strength. After a moment, a golden light circle condensed in her palm. Golden light impact technique. With her cry, buzz, a golden laser shot out from her hand, instantly penetrating the group of monsters and killing a large number of monsters in seconds. Unfortunately, this laser only lasted for 3 seconds before it dissipated. The monsters underground rushed forward one after another. There were also more and more monsters in the sky, constantly charging towards Yi Shu and the others. Several high-level teachers were ready to go and ready to attack at any time. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Li Changfeng stood at Yi in front of Shu, there was an impenetrable iron wall. No matter how many flying monsters attacked, they were all cut off by him with one sword. As more and more flying monsters attacked, he began to feel a little tired. Li Changfeng, I'll help you. Another person stood up and drew his sword. It was Shen Guangyi, the sharp violent warrior. He also took action. As a red light flashed on his body, it seemed that a certain skill was activated. He burst out with an amazing momentum, rushed forward, and cut out with a sword. Swish! A flying monster was directly dismembered by him. With Shen Guangyi's action, Ji Minfeng's pressure was much less. Boom boom boom. Suddenly, a series of fire rains fell from the sky and fell into the group of monsters, burning the monsters and screaming. Immediately afterwards, a series of hurricanes blew up, blowing the monsters in the canyon to fly up to the sky, and then fell heavily to the ground, smashing into a ball of flesh and blood. It was Sha Yuyu who took action, the hidden profession of great elementalist girl. Water, fire, wind, thunder, all kinds of elemental attacks, constantly displayed in her hands. Although she is not very familiar with the use of magic, her profession is really strong, and the output is really nothing to say. I will come too. Wu Shuibing also took action, and sent out palm prints one after another. Although he could not kill in batches, he could kill at a fixed point. All the 7-member team took action one after another, only Ji Yushi stood there quietly. She was an assassin, and she would not take action easily, but when she took action, it was a sure kill. For a while, they really blocked the monster's offensive pace. And the 4 teachers secretly observed and did not take action. They would not take action unless it was absolutely necessary. After all, they were the last guarantee. Bang, 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 just when everyone was killing in full swing. In the canyon, heavy footsteps came. By now, everyone knew that a big guy was coming. Soon, Yi Shu and his team found this guy. It was a giant ape-like monster, huge in size, at least 4 or 5 meters tall, and extremely conspicuous among the monsters. It walked out step by step with the monsters. Guang stared at Yi Shu and his team. Looking at the giant ape getting closer and closer. Yi Shu's heart moved, and he immediately used the identification technique on it. He wanted to confirm what level this monster was. Forest Giant Ape Leader. Level. Black Iron Leader. Level. 9. Strength. 130. Agility. 75. Spirit. 70. Skill. Boulder Throwing. The Forest Giant Ape throws stones, causing damage to all the concentrated targets in front of it. Skill. Thick Skin. The Forest Giant Ape has a strong body, reducing 5% of the damage it takes. Introduction. The leader of the Forest Giant Ape, a ferocious beast with great strength. He can easily grab a 1,000-pound boulder and throw it out. Don't be caught by it, otherwise you will end up miserably. This guy really likes the feeling of catching prey. After reading the monster's attributes, Yi Shu casually threw another fireball. Then he raised his head and drank a bottle of potion to restore his mental power. He continuously released the explosive fireball technique, and his mental power consumption was also quite fast. Fortunately, he had bought a lot of refreshing potion in the system mall before, and now it just came in handy. After taking a bottle of level 2 refreshing potion, his mental power began to recover quickly. Here it comes, a level 10 Lord level monster. After drinking that refreshing potion, Yi Shu shouted in a low voice. Bang! A person stood up. You clear the monsters around it, I will kill it. Li Chengfeng held a long knife, looking at the seemingly endless group of monsters, without any fear, and said domineeringly. Looking at the monsters that kept coming in the canyon, Yi Shu, with his powerful firepower, really couldn't retreat now. Facing so many low-level monsters, his explosive fireball technique was indeed the most powerful means of attack. Yi Shu nodded and said decisively, okay. I'll open the way for you. The next moment, he held the jade staff, opened his hands, and gathered his mental power. Devil's Hand. As Yi Shu's heart moved, the skill was released. Hoo-hoo, the next moment, a huge handprint condensed on top of Shu's head. Go, as Yi Shu slapped out with his palm. Boom. The black handprint wrapped in black mist slapped down fiercely towards the direction where the forest giant ape was. Looking at the crushing black handprint, the forest giant ape had no way to avoid it in this vast herd of beasts, and could only roar angrily. Boom! The huge black handprint fell, and the forest giant ape raised both hands to protect its head. Although it withstood the blow. But the monsters around it were killed cleanly. Although the forest giant ape resisted, it was also covered in blood. Taking this move hard also hurt it. I'm going. Li Chengfeng held a long knife, bent down and exerted force, suddenly jumped up, flew into the air, and directly held the knife killed the forest giant ape. Bang! Li Chengfeng fell from midair and looked at the forest giant ape. Li Chengfeng did not hesitate at all and rushed directly towards the forest giant ape. The long knife in his hand turned into a stream of light and took the head of the forest ape. Roar! Looking at this tiny human, the forest giant ape roared, raised his huge fist, and punched Li Chengfeng who was attacking. HMPH. Li Chengfeng snorted coldly, but his momentum did not decrease, and his murderous intent was chilling. Dang! In an instant, a fist and a knife collided, making a crisp sound. The fist of this forest giant ape was not a vegetarian, it was quite hard, and it actually took Li Chengfeng's knife. After failing to hit the target, Li Chengfeng looked calm and quickly retreated. Boom! The forest giant ape roared, picked up a huge rock from the ground and threw it out. Swish! Li Chengfeng dodged the trajectory of the rock. Boom! The rock passed by, smashing a long gully on the ground. Li Changfeng said nothing, bent his body, and then suddenly exerted force, and moved his body. In just a moment, Li Changfeng broke through the air and got behind the forest giant ape. Obviously, this is a charge skill. Buzz! Li Changfeng rushed to the back of the forest giant ape, and the long sword in his hand made a slight sound, and a light red light flashed on the long sword in his hand, and then Li Ketung raised the long sword high, and then suddenly chopped it down. All this happened in just a moment. The forest giant ape couldn't react at all. Caw caw caw. This knife, from top to bottom, actually directly chopped the forest giant ape. Woo! As the long knife chopped down, the forest giant ape was chopped, and in a moment, its body broke into two halves and fell down. Li Changfeng landed on the ground, swung the long knife, and the blood of the forest giant left on it was wiped out by him. Good. Oh my god, so fierce. Tisk, worthy of Li Changfeng. Clean and neat. Li Changfeng rushed into the beast group and chopped the level 9 leader monster forest giant ape with a powerful knife, which attracted cheers from everyone. The fighting spirit of several people was raised again. Even Yi Shu also nodded and said, well done. Now, Yi Shu is sure that Li Changfeng definitely held back during the freshman competition. But he himself was no exception. Roar, a woo. Ho ho, Li Changfeng, don't fight anymore, retreat. A teacher shouted. The death of the forest giant ape did not stop the monsters' offensive pace, but aroused their blood, making them more frantically attack the defense line established by the students in front of the canyon. Looking for death, Li Changfeng, who was trapped in the monster group, was not afraid at all, but shouted coldly. As a faint red light flashed on his body, his breath changed in an instant. Then, he suddenly attacked at a very fast speed. Swish, swish, swish. The long sword in his hand turned into sharp sword lights, and wherever the sword light passed, a monster was killed and dismembered. Yi Shu knew very well that even with Li Changfeng's combat power, he could not stay for too long in the monster group. As long as he showed a flaw, he would be dismembered by these monsters. Almost. Yi Shu raised his hand and waved his staff. Buzz. In front of him, the magic circle opened. Knight, come out. As Yi Shu shouted, crack. 5 skeleton knights broke through the magic circle and rode out on bone horses. Looking at the 5 tall and mighty skeleton knights holding bone spears, everyone's heart trembled. These people knew how powerful the skeleton knights were. Before, when Yi Shu relied on them to show his power, they could still remember it vividly. Yi Shu waved his hand, pointed at Li Changfeng who was showing his power in the monster group, and said, Knights, go, break through the monster group and protect that person. After receiving Yi Shu's order, the skeleton knight moved. As the skeleton knight pulled the reins, the bone horse neighed, trampled on the ground, and rushed out directly. Da da da. Yi Shu gave an order. 5 skeleton knights rode on bone war horses and rushed out, facing the beast tide, holding bone spears and charging all the way. The attributes of the skeleton knights are stronger than many silver level leaders, that is, they do not have group killing skills. Otherwise, they can sweep away such low-level monsters. 5 skeleton knights charging side by side are still very impactful, and most of these ordinary monsters below level 10 cannot stop them at all. Almost every attack of the bone spear can take away several monsters, and a sweep can blow away a bunch of monsters. The number of monsters is too large, and the 5 skeleton knights are still a little weak, and soon they fall into a bitter battle. No, the knights can't rush through like this, come again. Yi Shu raised his hand and cast a spell again, and the magic circle opened again. Caw caw caw. This time, it was not the skeleton knights. But, one by one, the withered bone sword soldiers walked out of the magic circle. This time, Yi Shu did not hold back, and summoned all 50 bone soldiers in one breath. The attributes of the bone soldiers were equally sharp, comparable to the low-level silver level leaders. 50 of them appeared together, neatly arranged in front of Yi Shu. The scene was still very spectacular. Sword soldiers, go, with a wave of Yi Shu's hand. Caw caw caw. The bone soldiers raised their heads one after another, the steel knives in their hands flashed with cold light, and immediately launched a charge at the monster group. With the addition of 50 bone soldiers, the pressure on the front line suddenly decreased a lot. After the pressure on the skeleton knight was reduced, the charge was also more convenient. Li Changfeng, retreat. When the skeleton knight rushed to Li Changfeng, solve the monsters surrounding him, and cleared a space for him, Yi Shu shouted loudly. Swish, swish, swish. Li Changfeng raised his hand, killed dozens of monsters in one breath, bent down and exerted force, flew into the air, and after a few rises and falls, he retreated directly from the monster group. At this moment, there were already scars on his body, he was injured. Boom! With a loud bang, Yi Shu blew up another area of beast tide. It's time. Yi Shu stopped releasing the explosive fireball technique and walked directly into the monster group. He wanted to try the new SS level skills, this is the best opportunity. Yi Shu. Wu Shuibing found Yi Shu walking towards the monster group and shouted. Yi Shu, don't rush, retreat. Dong Chengyu shouted. Are you going to die? Shen Guangyi also said. When Yi Shu walked towards the front line step by step, someone behind him, who followed him, shouted. Don't worry, I know my limits. Yi Shu raised his hand to stop them. Then, he opened his hands and began to release skills. Buzz. As Yi Shu began to cast a spell, in an instant, a huge black magic circle, with Yi Shu as the center, expanded wildly and instantly spread to the entire canyon. Whoosh whoosh. The next moment, black seasons poured out from the magic circle. Yi Shu, what are you doing? Dong Chengyu asked in surprise. Wu Shuibing stared at Yi Shu and shook his head. I don't know, looking at the posture, I think he is going to use a big move. Use a big move. Dong Chengyu was shocked. The big move of the undead summoner. What will that look like? Everyone looked up at Yi Shu. In front, Yi Shu stood in the middle of the black magic circle, opened his hands, and as the black fog continued to roll, Yi Shu actually took off into the air. This was not because Yi Shu could fly, but because the black fog wrapped him up. Death Prologue. With Yi Shu's whisper, the skill was activated. Quote. In an instant, the whole canyon was filled with black fog, ghosts and wolves howling, and in an instant, a strong wind blew, as if the gate of hell opened. What's going on? Wu Shuibing swallowed and said. What on earth is this guy going to do? Dong Chengyu was blown by the strong wind and raised his hands to protect his head and exclaimed, this guy, could he open the gate of hell? Shen Guangyi said, stabilizing his body tightly. This Yi Shu. Li Changfeng held a long sword and looked at Yi Shu. Even he, who was always calm, showed a trace of surprise. Does Yi Shu really have any powerful moves to perform? Several teachers looked at each other, and one of them asked. Another teacher shook his head. I don't know. But, such a skill method. The power of releasing this skill, I guess, this skill may be a Super S level skill. Super S level skill. The teacher who asked the question first was surprised. You mean, freshmen can release skills of this level? Not sure, but, it should be not bad. The other teachers were startled. The teacher who spoke was also a mage. The words of a mage in his 40s were still very credible. For a while, several teachers looked at Yi Shu. Super S skills, is this student so amazing? Look! Wu Shuibing suddenly shouted and looked back at the ground around him. Everyone looked. Caw caw caw. I saw that around Yi Shu. No, not Yi Shu, but the whole canyon. The ground began to crack, and then, bones that had been dead for who knows how many years crawled out. There were human-shaped bones, monster-shaped bones, and they crawled out of the cracked ground one by one, looking particularly creepy. This is the army of the undead. Someone said in horror. Dongcheng Yu, who was naturally sensitive to these things, had a shortness of breath when facing such an army of the undead. Not only that, even the monsters they had just killed began to twist and crawl again under the invasion of the black fog. They crawled out of the ground and all stood there, as if waiting for someone's order, their eyes were all looking at Yi. At this moment, Yi Shu was in the magic circle, floating in the air, standing above the sky, like a king, bearing the kneeling of thousands of undead. Kill. As Yi Shu in the sky Shu spat out a word. Caw caw caw. As if they had received some instructions, countless undead spirits went crazy and began to rush towards the monsters. As this group of bones rushed up, underground, countless bones were still climbing up. In a short time, Wang Zhao's thousands of bones had crawled out, forming a large army, and began to counterattack the beasts. This scene stunned everyone. This is Yi Shu's ultimate move. Dongcheng Yu was frozen in place, hesitating and saying, "Great, so awesome." He blocked the beast tide alone. Although they are all low-level monsters, this is too amazing, right? Wu Shuibing also looked incredible, body. More than that, Li Chengfeng looked ahead and said lightly, didn't you find that the beast tide is retreating? Sha Yuyu was also surprised and said, the monster was counterattacked. Is this really the power that freshmen should have? Shen Guangyi carried a long sword, smacked his lips, and said, this is too exaggerated, isn't it? Once, the beautiful woman who almost forced Yi Shu to use invincibility, Ji Yuxi, also looked at Yi Shu with a solemn face. Even several teachers were shocked by Yi Shu's ability and couldn't say a word. What is that? The Army of Bones. It's the spell cast by Yi Shu. Is this the necromancer? Wow, so powerful. At this moment, the freshman standing on the teleportation array who did not join the battle immediately also discovered this scene. At this moment, both Qin Chuan and Wang Yanbo turned pale. This Yi Shu is so strong. It's ridiculous that they were still discussing how to deal with Yi Shu during the freshman trial not long ago. What should we do? A freshman spoke up. Seeing countless beast tides being resisted, some students began to get restless. After all, the academy made it clear that resisting the beast tide this time was a freshman trial. Under the teleportation array, the undead army continued to crawl out from the ground to join the battlefield, and the beast tide was forced to retreat. And Li Chengfeng and Wu Shuibing, who were the first to join in resisting the beast tide, have followed the pace of the skeleton army and joined the pursuit of Zhang Chao. Countless low-level monsters were killed by them. These people began to get restless. Resisting the beast tide is everyone's responsibility. We also need to do our part. Suddenly, someone shouted loudly, and everyone looked back. The person who spoke was a boy. This person was tall and handsome, with the temperament of a big brother next door. However, appearances are often deceptive. 223 This person, before, faced the beast tide, said nothing. He even wanted to stop Ji Yuxi from resisting the beast tide. At this moment, seeing the endless army of bones joining the battlefield and countless monsters being forced back, he had an idea. That's right, in the face of disaster, we can't retreat. Another person stood up and said righteously, this person is Wang Yanbo. Although, he is now very concerned about Yi Shu was jealous to death. But, seeing the beast tide being suppressed and starting to harvest points, he couldn't sit still. That's right, we have to join the battle too. Yes, we are students of Shenlong Academy, we can't back down. At this moment, many people started to shout. Although they knew their own thoughts, no one pointed it out. Watching, these people began to walk off the stage. Not everyone had this idea, there were still some people who were still sitting on the stage, unwilling to take a step. In the surging beast tide battlefield, Wu Shuibing held a long spear, with golden light surging on his body. He rushed into the monster group and rushed in a group. With a casual glance, he saw someone walking down the formation platform. He killed several monsters in front of him with a shot. Ha ha, he smiled and shouted to Shen Guangyi not far away, Old Shen, look over there. Swish, Shen Guangyi cut off the waist of a monster with a knife, and then turned his head to look. Yo, Shen Guangyi swung his long knife and said, these nobles are finally willing to take action. Ha ha, Wu Shuibing smiled and said, they are here to grab points. After all, our resistance to the beast tide this time is linked to the freshman trial. If there are benefits, how can they not take them? Quote, Yi Shu summoned the army of the undead. We are now qualified to fight these monsters head on. Seeing that they can get an advantage, these people can't sit still. Quote, Shen Guangyi killed several monsters that pounced on him with a knife and said, I really despise this kind of stuff, a bunch of cowards. Stop chatting. At this time, Li Chengfeng spoke up and said, no matter what their purpose is, since they have joined the battlefield, it will be helpful to us. Our top priority now is to kill these beasts. That's right. Dong Chengyu, who was not far away, also said, try to drive these monsters back in one breath. Come on, everyone, Sha Yuyu also said, kill. Classmates, we are here to help you. Don't be afraid, we are here. Protecting humanity is everyone's responsibility, fight them. Kill. In the distance, dozens of freshmen got off the stage and rushed over. Shen Guangyi and Wu Shuibing smiled at each other, said nothing, and rushed towards the monster group. With the skeleton army fighting with the monsters, they can also use their methods better. On the other side, Yi after Shu finished casting the spell in one breath, his figure slowly fell down. Looking at the countless skeleton army, he could clearly feel that he could instruct every undead monster. This feeling is great. Tisk tisk. He couldn't help but smacked his lips and said, "Is this the power of the death prologue? It's really powerful. This ability is simply invincible in group battles. The power of this skill increases with my own level. If I raise my level in the future and summon high-level undead, the power, Summoner, is worthy of the title of Walking Legion." As monsters fell one after another, Yi Shu's experience also increased. At this time, he has reached level 15, and has gained more than half of his experience points. If he keeps killing like this, it won't take long for him to reach level 16. It's a pity that he didn't gain any skills this time. Well, the battle situation is still almost stable. With the undead army joining the battle, these geniuses should be blocked. Yi Shu stood there, and began to have other plans in his mind. I should think about my task. Open the task bar. Task completion 1. Kill 500 ordinary monsters. Task reward. Get a chance to smash a golden egg. Completed. Task completion 2. Kill 1000 ordinary monsters. Task reward. Get a chance to refresh a golden egg. Completed. Task completion 3. Kill 5000 ordinary monsters. Task reward. 1 3-star golden egg, 1 chance to smash a golden egg. Quote. Unfinished progress. 2750. It's still a long way to go to complete the mission, and I haven't completed any of the leader level missions yet. I need to go deeper. Looking at the beast tied in front of him, Yi Shu took a step forward and began to charge. As his mind moved, ka ka ka, the withered sword soldiers quickly gathered towards him. Da da, da da, the skeleton knights also began to move towards him. Make way, Yi Shu shouted. Swish, the skeleton knights and the withered sword soldiers formed a monster bulldozer in front of Yi Shu, with the skeleton knights clearing the way in front, the withered sword soldiers protecting on both wings, and Yi Shu in the middle, casting spells one after another, killing one monster after another, and pushing forward all the way. Wu Shuibing found Yi Shu and said, "Yi, what is Yi Shu going to do? Is he going to break into Tiandang Mountain alone?" Dongcheng Yu also looked shocked. "This guy is so brave, but I like him." "Ha ha," Shen Guangyi said with a smile, holding a long knife in his hand. Li Chengfeng looked at Yi Shu and pondered. Yi Shu is not an impulsive person. He may have his own plans, or he may have discovered something. He has his own summons to protect him, so he should be fine. We are now relying on these white bones. We will beat these monsters back in one breath. Okay, Shen Guangyi waved his long knife. With the addition of other talented students, their pressure is indeed much less. Although these people are here for points. Several teachers looked at each other, and finally, one teacher nodded, and the other teachers did not speak, letting Yi Shu kill alone into the depths of the monster group. Swish, swish, swish. In front of Yi Shu, a row of skeleton knights cleared the way, madly killing the monsters that rushed over. The skeleton knights could kill these low-level monsters one by one. On both sides of Yi Shu, there were 2 rows of guards composed of bone sword soldiers. Any monster that dared to approach Yi Shu would be killed by the sword. Explosive fireball, hand of darkness. Yi Shu was in the middle, casting spells one after another. Countless monsters fell one after another under this powerful formation. Yi Shu was still advancing. Any monster that dared to block the way would be ruthlessly killed by him. As for those running out from both sides, Yi Shu ignored them. When they rushed out, someone would deal with them. Deepopoep. At this moment, in the sky, countless flying monsters discovered the threat of Yi Shu and began to pounce on Yi Shu. Shield. Facing the air raid of countless flying monsters, Yi Shu did not dare to be careless. He immediately activated the shield. Buzz. The spherical shield appeared and hit Yi Shu's shield, and then they attacked Yi Shu with their fangs and claws. As he continued to advance, both the skeleton knights and the skeleton sabers began to suffer losses. Ants bite elephants to death, being attacked by countless monsters, even skeleton knights can't bear it. Come again. Yi Shu raised his hand and activated the skill again. In front of him, the magic circle opened. Crack. Under Yi Shu's call, the skeleton knights rushed out of the magic circle. This time, Yi Shu directly summoned all 10 skeleton knights. The lost skeleton sabers were also replenished. It's far enough away from other students, I'm going to start the formal action. Rije. Yi Shu's heart moved, and a strong mental force gathered. Death Commander. As Yi Shu shouted in a low voice. Kacha. After a while, black mist rose in the magic circle, and a strong death aura spread. A figure as big as a sun and a moon slowly walked out of the magic circle. It was a skeleton warrior wearing black armor, more than 3 meters tall, with a hideous face. On it, it was wearing a black armor, and the part of the body that was not covered by the armor was covered with bones. Behind it, a black cloak was whistling. It carried a huge red broadsword on its back, and wore a helmet like a bull's horn. The eyes of the skeleton emitted a terrifying red light. No matter how you look at it, this guy is majestic and domineering. Kacha. When it walked out of the magic circle step by step. Not far from Yi Shu. Whether it was the skeleton knight or the withered bone sword soldier, they were all terrified, staring at the huge Death Commander, motionless. Swish. When the Death Commander completely walked out of the magic circle, all Yi Shu's other summoned undead monsters all had a red light flashing. The overall attributes have been greatly improved. This is the unique command aura of the Death Commander. The Death Commander has now reached IV2, and the overall attributes are domineering. Death Commander IV2, summoned creature, strength, 750 agility, 500 spirit, 350 endurance, 350 skill. Command aura. When the Death Commander is alive, the attributes of all other summoned undead creatures are increased by 30%. Whirlwind slash. The Death Commander turns into a whirlwind blade, sweeping the target in front with a spiral attack. The whirlwind slash ignores the target's 15% defense. Purgatory flame. The Death Commander summons the Purgatory flame to burn the target area. Eye of Death. The Death Commander stares at its target. If the mental power is lower than its target, it will die. If the mental power is higher than its target, it will be stunned for 60 seconds. Undead slavery. The Death Lord can enslave the target it kills for a short period of time. Resurrection of the dead. The Death Lord radiates powerful dead power and heals all friendly undead creatures. After reaching level 2, the power of the Death Lord is simply terrifying. After the Death Lord appears, not to mention Yi Shu's other undead summons, even the monsters are all terrified. Ka. Yi Shu moved his wrist, and all the summoned monsters appeared. Next, it's time for me to take action. Hellwalker, start. Whoosh. Just when Yi Shu activated the skill, a large amount of black mist emerged from his body, and the thick black mist wrapped him. Ka. Then, only a series of light sounds were heard. After a while, the black mist dissipated, and at this moment his whole body was covered with a layer of bone armor, and even his head was covered by a bone helmet. The snow-white bone armor is still quite sharp. And the staff in Shu's hand disappeared, and a bone sword appeared in its place. Compared to the ordinary one before, this bone sword now has a layer of light red light all over it. Quote. Any monster will be killed without mercy. Yi Shu raised the ancient sword, pointed it straight ahead, and said. Da. The Death Commander drew out the long sword behind him and roared. Ka. Both the skeleton knight and the skeleton saber soldiers began to get agitated. Now, under the aura of the Death Commander, they are even more powerful and fearless. Then, they directly charged at the monsters in front of them. The Death Commander raised a huge broadsword and swept it. Crack. With the sound that made people's scalps numb, the monsters were directly cut open one by one. The powerful force even made some monsters explode directly, and the broken meat flew all over the sky. Swish. The skeleton knight was also extremely ferocious. The bone spear in his hand stabbed crazily, charging all the way, and the white bone warhorse trampled to death one monster after another. Swish. The skeleton sabers on the other side were also like chicken blood. 50 skeleton saber soldiers separated and formed a square team, constantly charging, and the steel swords in their hands danced vigorously. 10 monsters fell on their swords. Seeing that his younger brothers were so powerful, holding the bone sword, Yi Shu smiled slightly and also attacked. Hell. Purgatory slash. Swish. As the skill was activated, a powerful sword energy surged out with Yi Shu's swing, directly cutting a group of monsters in half. The power of this move became more powerful as the skill was upgraded. The sword energy swept across and directly killed countless monsters. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.